What's going on, everybody out there, and welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Weekly, one of the more important episodes this week. We got a lot of important stuff to talk about hitting the comic book world, industry, communities, etc. I'm Chris, Dark Avenger C86. Next to me is Kat, Comic Uno.
Hey, guys.
Underneath me is Mike, Spider Slayer, Comic Book Corner 2.0.
Hey, everyone.
Diagonal from me is Michael, Dude of Rock 18.
Hey, guys, Rock 18 here.
Brant, Last Summer Press, will be joining us. He's having a bit of course, this is StreamYard, and with the phones, issues are happening all across the world right now. So Brent will be with us as soon as he gets issues sorted. Hello, everybody. Hello. So many hellos. Hi.
I know. I saw a lot of new people there, so that's cool.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome,
guys.
Tonight.
And we hope to entertain you with all of the comics and comic news. And I'm guessing we're saving the major topic for last. So I'm going to turn this over to Kat so we can talk news, the exciting stuff, and then we'll talk about the more impactful stuff. Also, real quick this week, we're going to be giving away a digital code for Superman Red Sun. So all you have to do is comment. Kat's going to take all the names. She's going to put it in a randomizer. And some lucky winner is going to get the digital version of Superman Red Sun. And right now, everybody's in quarantine. Why not watch a really awesome animated movie? I'm not reviewing it. I haven't watched it yet, so I can't tell you if it's awesome or not. You're going to be the judge of it yourself if you win.
I actually haven't seen it either, so I usually am up to speed with them. I've never been like a huge fan.
I've heard the voice actor for Superman. Very weird. Very weird with a Russian accent.
Oh, I could only imagine. It's not one of my favorite storylines, so I know a lot of people like it, but never been invested. A lot more.
I actually, working in a private school, I bought the Red Sun S, and predominantly a lot of the teachers are Russian. So when they saw the Superman shirt with the Russian flag in it, they're like, what's that? And I had to sit there and explain to them Superman Red Sun.
Yeah, I could imagine. I feel like hopefully
nobody cares. Kat's focusing on one thing. Mike's on something.
I'm focusing on writing all these names down for our Red Sun ranking. But did Brant leave us?
Brant left us again.
We're trying to get him on. Anyways, we'll get into some news though.
Let's do it.
So first up is we're gonna save all the coronavirus stuff for after. There's not a ton of news besides the coronavirus stuff, but yeah, Disneyland ride, which is not really happening right now because of the coronavirus, is getting a Spider-Man comic. So what do you guys think about that? I mean, I'll get it if it's Spider-Man. I hope I go to California at least once a year to San Diego, so I hope I could get there. That'd be cool.
I think that
I'll
go ahead, Mike.
I'll buy it. No, sorry, I'll buy it. I'm on board with trying out any Spider-Man title, at least for the first issue. If it's lame, dumb, whatever it is, then I'll drop it. But I'm just curious to see what it's going to be about. That's about it, though, for me.
I think it's actually really cool that they're taking a ride and actually bringing it into a comic book, especially Spider-Man, because Spider-Man ride, for what I've seen in YouTube clips from people going on the ride.
That's a different Spider-Man ride.
All right, well, in essence of just the ride itself, I would like to actually see that because, like Mike said, we're trying out Spider-Man titles. I figure why not try it and see what it's about. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it should be cool. So us Spider-Man fans will check it out. Everything else is coronavirus related, so we're going to get to some media news.
Hold on, I want to answer Barry Allen's question because I did a video on this. He goes, what about the Corona Spider-Man comic?
Yeah, what was that?
Actually, I did a review on that comic. It's in Spectacular Spider-Man 176? 176, 177, I think it was. I just did a video on that, Barry. So if you want to check it out on my channel, it's like the second to last, just the most recent video that I did on the channel. So I talked about it there if you're interested in that.
Definitely go check that out. And the next thing we're going to talk about is that, let me see, something that Brant didn't mark down. All right, let's talk about Valiant Nintendo 64 Shadow Man game to be remastered.
I thought that was a typo. It really is a Nintendo 64 game?
Yeah,
it was a
I
Nintendo,
thought it was a
yeah,
Nintendo 64 game.
It was actually.
That's when
And-
Valiant was around.
Yeah, and to actually see that being remastered, I can only imagine how much of a graphic difference it could be and how awesome the game could be also. Definitely. From a Nintendo 64 perspective, because that era was huge with all the games.
So we'll see how that turns out. I don't know anything about the character or the game, so
Is there a release of when it's to be
No,
out, or is it just in the
probably a
talks?
year. Next gen console, more than likely.
Probably. All right.
Mike Manhattan has accessed this a few times, but did you guys hear about The Last of Us getting an HBO adaptation? Yeah, I mean, I heard it's a great game, so
It's an amazing game, but I wouldn't go beyond it. I'm sorry, I won't.
I know it's very story driven though, so it makes sense.
It could.
A lot of people aren't happy with Last of Us 2. I'm not getting into the politics. I'm buying it. I'm going to have fun with it, and I'm going to ignore all politics attached. But Naughty Dog needs a little bit of a smack in the back of the head.
Next up, we got some more Valiant news. Bloodshot is available early on demand, pretty much like every other movie that just came out because of the coronavirus. So I didn't see Bloodshot, but honestly, I didn't hear great things either. So, but it's cool that they're trying to give us content.
I think they need to. They got to get it in people's eyes to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and it makes sense though, because with the movie theaters closed because of the virus that's out there, it's actually really nice of them to
Brand.
to make and I think that's actually great that they're making it early on demand, because with people who can't go to the movie theaters to see it can actually see it on an earlier date. Actually,
Mike Manhattan, I'm pretty sure any game from this point on, I think Doom and Animal Crossing are the last two big releases we're going to have that aren't delayed for a while. I'm hoping Last of Us comes out. I mean, it is May, but you have to understand no one is working right now except for major people. So
that and you could also check out Nintendo Direct, which should be this Thursday.
That has nothing to do with the Last of Us.
Michael's been pimping that out
with the delays I'm talking about.
Mike, you are obsessed. We have to stop you.
I'm a Nintendoer. Hello.
I love how he showed the shirt.
What's a Nintendoer?
It's a Yankee shirt. What is a Nintendoer? Yes. Please enlighten me.
A Nintendoer is somebody who likes to talk about Nintendo.
And it's in the dictionary.
Did you just make this up off the top of your head?
Yes.
Ellie, if you can hear me, come out and smack him in the back of the head, please.
I don't think she heard you, but we'll see.
She's laughing.
Please, Ellie, do it for the video.
We'll see if it happens.
He's too busy playing Animal Crossing now.
Oh, makes wow. Sense. Did you hear what Mike just said about you, Ellie?
She's just laughing.
We do have a comment about GameStop. I guess we could talk about it, but GameStop was having this whole controversy that they wouldn't close, and now they finally close. I mean, all I could say is I'm glad they closed. Like, I don't really have much else to say about it besides that was really wrong of them to do.
Yeah. For them to sit there and say that they're an essential business is absolutely wrong. Like, I get it. We like to play our games, right? There's a lot of gamers out there, but you know what? There's all kinds of places that you download games that you don't have to leave your house for. So there was no reason for them to be open.
Yeah, and especially that they could get digital stuff.
GameStop is not essential. I'm sorry, and they were putting their own people at risk so they can make $1 profit. No, video games are not essential, and yes, you can get any video game you want digitally. Literally, by the click of a button, you could own any video game on your Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch.
Well, that's the thing. You can get them all digitally, and yeah, it's not essential. Okay, here's A question from Comic Universal. I don't know if any of us have the answer to this, but is Comixology Unlimited free for the Amazon Prime members? I don't think
No.
so.
I don't think so.
No.
No, I know there's
It's
a free
not.
90-day trial. That's
There
it.
is now a 90-day trial because of the coronavirus. It was 30-day. Now it's 90-day if you want to go
Right.
check out some comics.
And then there's some free comics on there that you can read too. But when it comes to the new stuff or whatever it is, or even older stuff, you still got to pay for it. You still got to pay for the comics themselves. You know what I'm saying? So
The app is
Yeah.
free. The comic books are not.
Well, the
And then-
unlimited, technically, you're paying a flat rate, like a Netflix thing.
Right.
That's what the point of that
yeah,
one is.
that's true.
I don't know. I mean, I guess there's a lot of comics there. But yeah,
We're going to talk about this anyway, but I will always and forever. I know if Sweet shows up, he's going to disagree with me, but I will always be a physical person. Everyone I've talked to is very much into physical copies, younger and older than me. So digitally,
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get to the topic.
yeah, we're trying to wait it out to see if Brant could come on, but
yeah.
let's see. So next up is I added this one. I don't know if anyone wants to talk about it, but The Walking Dead is going to end without a finale because they didn't finish, filming it. So what do you guys think of that?
What
Wow.
is this, a season finale or a series?
Yeah,
finale?
it's like it's just gonna end. No season. It's not
Oh.
ending the show, but yeah, it's not gonna. It's just
So
gonna have a
stupid.
random.
Like I get it.
episode.
You don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, oh my gosh. I haven't watched a single since it's come back. I haven't watched a single episode. I've totally fallen off of it. I never thought I would, but I have like no interest in it now.
Mm.
We have so many new commenters. Thank you so much. And if you comment, you have a chance to win our Superman Red Sun digital copy. So we appreciate that.
So comment, people.
Hello.
Put cast
Yeah.
to work.
I clicked the wrong one. The sniff is crucial. The smell of- Listen, back in the 90s, the comic paper had a very specific smell. It smelled good. So, hey, the sniff is real.
So next, unless Michael, did you have anything you want to say about Walking Dead? Because I think you're.
Well, I've not been able to watch this season,
There you go. Everyone's falling off.
but I am gonna
Good.
I'm probably gonna watch the whole thing when it gets available on Netflix. So I'll be.
I don't think it's a
definitely
Netflix show.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, it was on
Is
Netflix.
it?
Yeah.
Was, but is it
Season-
still on Netflix?
There's seasons 1 through 9 on there.
Let me check currently.
I mean, that's what I saw like weeks
Walking
ago.
Dead.
I'm pretty sure it's on Netflix.
You're right. It is on Netflix. I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Probably when everything ends, that's when it'll go on, and then I'll catch up with what I missed. But like Mike's probably saying, I didn't miss much, probably, so I don't.
Yeah, I remember
I'm just gonna skip some.
I did coverage for The Walking Dead like a couple of years ago for New York Comic Con, and I hadn't watched the show for like 2 years. And I was sitting at the panel, I'm like, oh, I hope I'm not lost. And then I'm watching, I'm like, I guess I haven't missed much. So not a lot happens throughout those seasons, but
They were kind of hinting about who's gonna die and everything, so my probable guesses are right.
we do have a question from Comic Universal. Are you excited for Wonder Woman 1984? And that could kind of go into our other topic is how do you think this should be released? Do you think it should be released digitally or keep pushing the release date? Because right now they just pushed it to August.
Well, I think that when was the original release date?
June?
So if they're gonna bring it to August, maybe they could release it early. I mean, they're doing it with Bloodshot and all the other
But
movies.
printers aren't printing anymore. So if it's not printed already.
Mm.
No, for we're talking about the movie.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah, that's why I meant the movie. Yeah, so
I
I
thought the
don't know,
comic
like-
I had to walk away a second.
it might be on demand probably in June, but it all depends on what the people prefer it to be on. But I would say definitely on demand just to make it
But-
fair.
Well, they make more money trying to get it on the theater. So I think they would probably benefit if they pushed it back and get more people to watch it in a theater than
Oh, yeah, you're
on
gonna make much more money.
demand. So, because think about it, if you charge $19 on demand or $20 for that movie, you're going to get 5 people watching it at one time for $20, where you could make a $10, $12 ticket sale off of one person, and you times that by another 4 people. Well, then look what you got there. So you have more money plus concessions and everything else. So obviously they're going to make more money. So they're going to try to keep it in the theater. So pushing it back for a financial standpoint is the smart thing to do.
Right.
I think especially for a Wonder Woman, and especially for Warner Brothers, who hasn't been doing like the best with their releases. So I agree with you.
I think by June, July, everything movie wise, I think the movies will be back open. Maybe
I think August is honestly when it's going to start, because who wants to go to the movies?
I think August is a smarter one, because every single chart I've seen about the whole peaking thing, it usually it's all flatlining around August. So you're right, Kat. I would say around August, September, beginning of fall. So basically, the kids are going to be pissed they lose out on their summer, but it's looking like end of August is where things are going to finally flatline. We pray, and so we pray.
It's interesting. I have AMC stubs, and they actually made us stop paying. So we're not paying until anyone could go see a movie. So they're like, oh, we'll stall everyone's accounts, which is nice on AMC that they're doing that. They're not, asking for our money because no one's going to see a movie. So that's nice. And we actually got up to 32 viewers. So thank you. Has anyone heard from Brant to see if he's doing?
I texted him, but I didn't hear anything.
Okay.
He's not saying anything. Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
You might be hopefully figuring it out, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's get into some coronavirus stuff, and then we'll go into our big thing. But first up, stay-at-home Comic-Con. So how do you guys feel about all these virtual Comic-Cons? I could talk about it, and even Chris, but I could especially talk about it as a creator and person who does Artist Alley, and then you guys as going to a fan, as a fan. How do you guys feel about these virtual Comic-Cons? And would you attend these virtual Comic-Cons?
I would just like to state one thing. SM down. I'm glad you go to the movies, because, man, you must have I hope you have a very – if the movies were open and you'd go, God help you if you don't have a strong immune system.
We live in New York. We can't go outside.
Yeah, it's people who speak like that. That's the reason why it's still, to this day, growing in America. Honestly, the smarter thing for you to say is, I'm happy staying at home. I'm glad the movies are closed. So just pointing out that was a very dangerous statement.
Brant almost has a workaround. He says, but it's weird. So it looks like he's trying to get on.
Oh, I'm excited to see. Oh, let's see. Oh, well, it's darker.
Brent, can you hear us?
I don't know what was happening before.
What?
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Are we good?
Give me a second.
One Mississippi.
He looks like a hacker.
Testing.
He's like, wait.
Hello?
I can hear you.
Okay. I don't know why I can't see you guys. Give me a second.
Oh my!
What is going on your side?
Oh my goodness!
What now?
I said, what's been going on your side? Like your side of things. He probably can't hear us.
I think there's a delay.
Alan, it's funny you say this, because yes, I've actually been thinking that since the beginning of the week, that New York is actually becoming like the Division New York, except the virus wasn't released by a madman. It's an actual just virus.
We'll go back to the topic just because Bavarian had a comment. It's weird to have the cons digitally. This medium is just all about physical, which we'll get to. Seeing and touching a book, that's like having a virtual museum. I mean, the only reason I definitely accept the virtual Comic-Cons, is because, people are bored. They want to do stuff at their house to make them feel happy. And then B, for like my side as a creator, like, we're losing so much money by not going to these Comic-Cons, like so much. A lot of our businesses is going to these cons. So it's nice to feel like you're being able to push your book, even if you are, oh no.
Now we lost Mike.
It's all right. Mike will come back though.
But yeah, it's nice that we were, trying to sell our books.
I think it's good. I think it's something, again, with all that's going on, and this is something I've discussed and I want to discuss in my group. If you're not following Dark Avenger Nation or Comic Book Corner 2.0 Webheads Unite, on Facebook. That's both mine and Mike's Facebook groups. And it's something that right now we're all at home. You know, the one thing we have is a computer. Entertainment is like the one thing people need, especially to get our minds off of all the stuff going on in the world, stuff going on outside. So I think this convention is great. It gives people something to enjoy, something to go around and talk about. And then people like us, that we do live shows, we do stuff like that. I mean, Mike has videos Monday through Friday and does live streams on Facebook. I'm trying to do more live streams on Facebook. I stream on Twitter or Twitch all the time. I stream on Facebook every so often. So, you know, this is the time where, you know, people who do entertainment, this is where we shine. This is where we try to keep all of you entertained to keep your mind off of all the crazy stuff. And then I think this convention is a good idea. I think it's great because we're not getting anything. We're not going to get SDCC. San Diego is definitely not happening.
Oh no, yeah. I'm waiting for the moment of when they're going to cancel it, or at least postpone it. I don't know if they'll cancel it. I think they'll move it. But I am very curious because obviously I go to San Diego Comic-Con for work. So I am very curious of what's going to happen there. And I'm not going to sacrifice my health to go. So,
I mean, they postponed MegaCon, and supposedly right now the postponement date is June 7th. So will that happen? Obviously, we don't know, but at least they did get a date to fit themselves in there to attempt. Now it's just a matter if the creators can actually make themselves get to that point if we, you know, still have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing to push it back, but it's another thing for the creators to be able to be available for that date because they already set themselves aside to, you know, for the original date, right? So
yeah. And Tevya, I don't think they'll cancel New York unless
very
things
far.
are super bad. Yeah, unless things are super bad by the end of the summer. That's October. Mm-hmm. From what I'm hearing, the latest that people are worried about is 9 months, which is December, which means, yeah, New York Comic-Con will get canceled. But the earliest is August, like Kat said. And if that's true, October's 2 months after August. I don't see New York Comic-Con being canceled.
Well, thank you guys for the support with the books. Actually, there's an interesting question here. I wish is Brant on the other side or not yet? Can you hear us?
All right, I would just like to say really quick, 32 viewers. Thank you all so much. We appreciate
if you guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, Brant.
We can hear you, Brant.
I'm on a delay and my internet sucks.
I like how he says it.
my internet
sucks.
He's on too bad a delay, it seems like. Well, the question was, Brant, and this is, I guess, for both of us, is from Barry Allen. I'm just going to change the feature for a second, Chris. Etsy is serious, the better choice than Kickstarter. So I'm going to go on a little bit of flow here. Etsy is a good choice.
I'm going to agree with you. I know.
Yeah. Etsy is a good choice when you have your comics available already and that you've already because you have to put in money to make these comics, thousands of dollars to make comics.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to make your revenue, put on Etsy. But to make it, the reason Kickstarter exists is that way you get your revenue back and actually produce the comic that people may not be able to afford to produce thousands of dollars of comic and not make that profit. So that's why they're two different beasts and why you can use both. You can use Kickstarter and then Etsy, but
yeah, exactly. That's what we do. For Celestial Falcon issue 1 deluxe edition, we did Kickstarter. And then now that the book was successfully funded, people backed it. We were able to afford creating the book, like making the book. Now it's available on Etsy. So anybody who didn't want to back the Kickstarter can still buy it on Etsy. You won't get all the Kickstarter bonus rewards, but you can get the book. Kickstarter is very important for creators because, like Kat said, it's a lot of money. You got to think there's the artist, there's the colorist, there's the letterer, there's the logo designer, there's
printer is
editor,
the big one.
Printer is special. The printer is really where it starts to get hefty. And then there's also getting the books to people. Kickstarter helps a lot.
And it also puts your name out there. You're on a platform that people search actively. It's a lot harder to get eyes on an Etsy than it is a Kickstarter. So there's definitely a lot of variables that go into it where I think you could utilize both. It doesn't mean they're going against each other.
And the creators on Kickstarter, I mean, I swear, doing Celestial I met so many really awesome people. And just like everybody, just like Brant and myself, they're selling their book and they're trying to do their books on there too. And they're really amazing people. You meet it's a completely different community of people, and it's amazing and it's great. It's a lot of fun.
For sure. Yeah.
Comic Universal got a question there.
This one,
about
right?
also, how do you join the virtual Comic Cons? And can we chat with creators? Also, do we need to buy tickets? Because if not, then I'm going to a free online WonderCon.
So some of them I think you can interact with, and then others you can't. But the one that we're talking about, and I'll send the link. I actually was on a virtual Oh, Bavarian, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah. So certain ones, I think you ask questions. Like I was just on Russell Nordy's I think it was called Wannabe Con, and people were able to ask questions there. This one, I'm actually going to be at, we're losing everyone. I'm going to be at a virtual Comic-Con in like a couple, I think the day before Easter, and that's like 15 minutes. So I don't think anyone's going to be asking questions.
Your deep fan wants to know about issue 6 of like Father Like Daughter.
All right, I'll answer that in a second. Where do I put my top comic, and when is Like Father Like Daughter issue 6? You can put your top comic right here if you'd like. Issue 6 of Like Father Like Daughter, the pencils are being finished now. And then once that's done, and also the virus is still happening, I'm going to be launching a Kickstarter for that issue. And anyone who hasn't supported, hasn't bought the trade or issue 5 and want to do it through Kickstarter, I'm also going to put that as part of the Kickstarter. But yeah, I'll have a Kickstarter for it once it's all finished. I want everything to be printed, actually. And once everything's printed, you're going to do the Kickstarter.
35 viewers. This is amazing. Thank you all so much for being here. We hope all of you are safe, healthy, happy. I've got to take the time to do this because 35 people. And thank you all so much for being here.
Bavarian's super chat as well. Thank you.
Bavarian with the $2 super chat. Well, the $1.99 super chat. Guys, if you haven't already subscribed to Comic Book Corner 2.0, definitely do so. Comic Frontline as well. We do this each and every week, Tuesday night, 10 p.m. We were a little late tonight, but definitely if you're watching on Comic Book Corner 2.0, come over to Frontline and subscribe. And if you're watching on Frontline, go over to Comic Book Corner 2.0 and subscribe. We are doing this on both channels simultaneously each and every week, every Tuesday. We were already discussing, I guess I could kind of give us some time so people can come back. We were already discussing what we're going to do if new comic books don't come out. We're going to talk about the subject of it in a minute, but we want to keep the live show going. So if anybody has anything they'd like to hear us talk about on these live shows, we were thinking we're going to keep up with the news, obviously.
We're going to have a show every week no matter what is our point for that.
Yeah, there'll be a Q&A if we have to. We'll just sit here and talk with all of you. I mean, I've done that for years doing Dark Avenger Live. So, I mean, we'll just sit here, we'll chat, we'll talk comics, new, old, news, whatever. We're thinking about maybe grabbing a series or a trade to talk about, maybe get a topic and have like a huge discussion for a topic. So if y'all have any suggestions, if you would like to see or hear us talk about anything, you're welcome to make suggestions in the comments. You're welcome to leave them in the comments if you're watching this post live. And you're also welcome to leave them all across our social media if you'd like.
Thank you so much. And we're going to talk about all that.
And please, Tevya, keep politics out.
We're not going to be talking about politics here. We do that before the show.
We do that before we go live.
But SM Down, thank you for reading and supporting Like Father Like Daughter. I know you liked the issue. So happy you did. And if you guys haven't read the book yet, issue 5 has a pretty good cliffhanger, I think. And I just wrote the cliffhanger for issue 8, and I haven't even told what I'm changed a little bit to Chris and Brandon, everybody after the show. I'll let them know, but it's good stuff. So thank you for the support.
They didn't make it. We're going to talk about this in a bit, but I'm just going to say it wasn't made clear yet about digital comics for the big 2. Otherwise, no. Yeah,
we don't know, which is the sad part of this.
It's hard. I don't want to wait for too long because I mean it'll definitely.
Let's maybe do the free comic book day talk. Oh, and
let's do free comic book day. Yeah, Mike's back. Good.
So what we're going to talk about is that free comic book day is not happening this May. We don't know if it's gonna be postponed or not. I think it's kind of everything's up in the. They were gonna release it throughout the month, and
but now they're leaning towards delaying it and just doing it a different month completely, from what I heard, because the whole month of May they're worried about what everybody else is worried about.
Happy birthday, Bavarian!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
So sorry it's during this horrible, horrible moment in time, but happy birthday! I hope you're having a wonderful celebration.
We also have a comment from Sweet. I'd like to watch along of a comic related show or movie. I'll say we've tried that in the past, and honestly, it's very hard, and it's not the most interesting for us.
Yeah, no, I'm quiet when I watch movies, so it's very hard for me to break that and be like, "Oh, look at that! Wow, look at how that's no."
It's harder, and also if you've never seen it, you don't even know what's going on. I know everyone's leaving us.
This is going to be one of those shows, people. Strap
Brand
in.
hasn't said a word yet because of what's been going on with him.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep it going, though, the ship. What if you made up your own comic in a group and did a video working on each issue live? That'd be fun, but then everyone knows what the comic's about and like where it ends. So
that's more of a community created comic book more than anything else. And Brant and Lisa actually did do something similar with Little Ember, and they had a bunch of fun, but again, it was a community made book, so everybody knew what was happening in it.
Yeah, I think that's what's hard about that. I think, again, there's just so much that goes into making a comic too. So much money you have to put into it, and then like having 5 people work on it. How do you share all those profits? Because then everyone kind of created it, and it just gets. And then again, people online say, "Well, I gave you that idea," and then you get into legal issues, and it's just like it's not fun. So there's just so much that goes into all that. I thought about
doing that. I really did think about doing that, like doing a viewers like help me figure out how to do it. And then I figured what Kat just said. Somebody will be like, "Hey, I told you should do that, so I should get royalties or I should do this," and I don't want to get sued, so no.
It's why comic creators don't take solicited comments from other people, because that's also part of like legal stuff. Mike, are you good on your side?
I don't know. Am I?
You're good now. So we were talking about a lot of stuff, but Free Comic Book Day was the topic we were on.
Okay. All right. Well, Free Comic Book Day. I mean, it's unfortunate that it's delayed, and whatever is going to happen happens. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully we'll get it. Whether it's going to be a month-long thing or whatever happens, I just hope we do have it, because I feel like it's a very important event. I think if we have it after this whole thing is over, I think would be great, because it would get people back into the shops. So shops can do sales, get people reading again, get people excited about the comics. So it could be a good thing. You just have to do it at the right time.
Agreed. 100%.
I agree too. And hopefully we get it. That'd be nice, but keep everyone safe. We could wait for sure. I want it to be a happy event, because that's what Free Comic Book Day is about, is bringing everyone together, getting sales for those retailers. And that brings us to our main topic here, which is how are retailers going to survive with Diamond saying, all right, as of right now, we don't know when this is going to end. There will be no printed comics. And then that goes into what you guys have been asking. Will they still release digitally? I know there's a lot of indie comics that are not even going to release any new stuff. And every day there's new companies saying, we're not going to release anything. We're not going to release anything. Marvel and DC has not made their statement, which is the game changer. If they say they're not releasing anything, honestly, I think stores can survive. So as much as we could be selfish and say, well, I want new comics, then you'll get your new comics, but stores are going to go out of business because people are going to be reading digitally and they're not making their money.
On my review, and this is before I even knew companies already said they're not making anything. But independents, while they are on a lot of people's polls, Marvel and DC, I mean, let's be honest here, Marvel and DC hold the biggest pieces to the pie. And my worry is they are going to go to Comixology. They're not going to want to wait. They're not going to want to lose out on sales. And people like myself and Mike, which I watched Mike's video. If you're watching this on Comic Book Corner 2.0, it's the video right before this. I agree. I won't go digital. I can't see myself spending the exact same amount of money for a physical book for a digital book. I won't.
I would never do it. It goes against what the hobby truly is. The hobby for me has always been, yes, I like reading the stories, don't get me wrong, but I don't get the same effect when I read it on a device, on a screen. You get you get more emotionally attached to the artwork, you get captured. I mean, I know there's a couple issues that I'll read digitally, I'm just like, I can't get into it. It's not the same, whether you're looking at it on a computer or you're looking at it at your phone, it's just not the same. I would rather wait until a trade or, comes out of a story arc before I would go digitally. And for me, it's freaking bullshit. You can't sit there and say, it's like, oh, but you own it and it's in a little device. No, I need to physically have it. Okay. Just like I said, call me old fashioned, but I need to physically have that.
It's a different read too, though.
What's that?
It's a different read too. Like literally comics are made for page turn. When there's no page turn, it's just like, the effect is not there anymore.
And here's another thing. You lose internet access, you lose Comixology, you lose your comics. I don't care if you can download them. That's it. You lose electricity, you lose your comics. Electric can go out, internet can go out. Guess what? I still have my comic book, right? I'm hiding it because we're going to discuss this book later and I'm going to show it off then. But I have my book right here. I can go sit outside in the sun, read my book, enjoy it, put it away. I can collect it. I can take it out whenever I want. I don't have to go through a digital library. Nothing. Boom. It's there. And it's also nice to have some physical medium. They're remaking. I was talking with my friend JD before. They're remaking records now. Records. This is stuff from mine and Michael's grandparents' time. They're remaking.
Well, they've been, because people. I have a record player. I like because I like the authenticity of it, and I like that you have to kind of be forced to listen to the whole record. Like when you get digitally, it's like, I listened to the single, that was great, but do you know anything about the album? No, because you didn't listen to the whole album. I think that really forces you to understand the art of the album, which goes into comics too. How do you appreciate the artist? By physically looking at it. And for sure.
So I'll go physical trade and I will not do single issues.
Some people say, well, you can go buy the Marvel comics if you go to the Marvel site where you can get a subscription service to get it delivered to your house, which is all fine and good. But the thing is with that, yes, you save up to 40% on your comics, but you have to shell out that money all at once. So it's like if you want to read Amazing Spider-Man, the next 12 issues of it, you have to fork out $29, okay? Which, saves you a lot of money. But if you read 10 titles from Marvel Comics, look how much money you got to shell out at one time.
Sweet. Video games and comic books are two different things. And
they've always been digital, so it's just like it's just a CD.
And to tell you and flip it up, while yes, there are digital things, and I did talk about Animal Crossing and Doom being two huge releases, I get physical games too, my friend. I'm sorry, but I'm a physical medium person, so I wouldn't buy the digital because I like having my games. Glorified startup this or not. So the argument I made and the argument you're making, but that's, again, I get physical. And so do a bunch of other people. Those are the people standing online at GameStop. Michael, for example. I don't stand online at GameStop. I buy my stuff online, but I'm a physical medium guy. And the only reason why I'm saying you could buy games digitally now and why GameStop should close is because GameStop is greedy. And we're not saying that Diamond shouldn't close. We didn't get to the subject yet.
No, yeah.
We're saying that we don't want the physical comics to go away. When GameStop opens, guess what? The games are going to be coming back, and the game companies are still making physical copies. And there was a comment, actually, that made me start to think, it's true. Diamond holds all the physical stuff. I think, if anything, this should be a wake-up call to all the comic companies that maybe Diamond shouldn't be the only one distributing physical copies.
Yeah, but then who starts to distribute? Like, how do you create a company?
Somebody should. So this way, Diamond's not the only one.
Yeah, but then they're going to get out of business because Diamond's still like the reason they're a monopoly is because how does a smaller company do that? Like they engrossed all the small companies because Diamond wasn't the only one back in the day.
I mean, if anything, this should wake a lot of people up, though. If Diamond, decides, hey, we're shutting.
Now, someone in Diamond separates companies. That's different.
That's what I mean.
Why would they want to do that? They're just going to lose money.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I feel like it's like a too late
control everything, though. See, except DC and Marvel, like you said, DC and Marvel, we don't know. They could go to Comixology tomorrow, and it will impact comic stores greatly.
Yeah, I think their sales I think will be impacted too. They just have to make a decision. It just won't be as impactful as the indies because the indies could go out of business. Marvel and DC won't.
Oh yeah, no, they won't. And that we both agree on. It should be cheaper to get digital comics.
See, but then printed comics won't exist anymore because then everyone will go digital, and then every comic stores will truly go extinct if they do that. That's the reason why it's the same price.
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's frustrating. It really is. It's kind of a lose-lose situation. But I mean, if anything, what you got to do right now is if there's no new comic books and you can get your store, if you're one of these places that where your store is still open, or if they're delivering stuff, like go there, get a trade, get some back issues, do something to help that store out, because it is going to be hard for that store. I mean, I look at my store, for example. My store is a good store and they've been open since like 2007, but now they're not going to get their new comics. So what's going to happen with them if this thing continues? And I'm worried about that, it is definitely a sad situation. So, it's like if Diamond doesn't get new comics, and even when things get back to normal, right, it's going to take them a little while to get those comics, to ship them back out. It's not going to be like, oh, the store's open, here's your fucking comics next week. It's not going to work that way. It takes time, and especially some companies like we talked about, like the indies, they're going to stop making these new comics. They're going to wait until things die down, and so you're going to get less comics to begin with in the beginning too. So I don't know. Marvel, DC, it's a different story maybe, but again, even if they're coming out digitally, I don't know. I'm not going to read them because I'm not going to pay for them digitally. I might have to ask you guys to borrow them if somehow you still read them or something. I don't know, but I'm just not paying full price for something that's on a screen. I'm just not doing it.
Absolutely not. And then you got to think, if this lasts for about 3 months, could you imagine 3 months worth of comic books in one sit down buy? It's going to be insane. I spend about $60 a month. Could you imagine?
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying them. I just will skip them and just start back up again. I would be like
crazy.
Yeah, so I would be like a new reader again. I'd be like, oh, I haven't read comics in 3 months. I stopped because I hated comic. That's what I'd be. And then it's like, oh, I decided to jump out. So that's what I would do. I would just be like,
even with Spider-Man, or would you get Amazing Spider-Man the 3 months you missed?
I still wouldn't buy that. I'm not buying that digitally. Yeah.
No, physically.
Oh, you mean after the fact? Yeah, maybe Spider-Man's the exception. Yeah, okay. Spider-Man's
I was just say if in 3 months they get all 3 months worth of books and release it on that first Wednesday, all the new comics ship out again, would you buy them physically?
Any of this, just Spider-Man.
Just you would skip everything else and just start over.
Just because that would ruin my streak. I have to get all the Spider-Man issues.
Right. I think I'd be like you. I'd be picky choosy because you're talking at least $200 and 3 months, 4 months worth of physicals.
Yeah, and then you got to get caught up. Then you got to get the new books and everything else. Yeah, I would just start from scratch.
I just hope, I think we talked about this online, but I don't remember if it was off air or on air. But I hope that they stop comics completely until Diamond comes back. Like, I really don't think they should do any digitals. Okay, Tevia, I have something about Diamond. So he's saying that Diamond should dissolve, but the question is, when a company is dissolved, who's dissolving it? Who's buying the company? Who are these going to be these competitors? It can't be a mom and pop. No one's going to buy. Like, Diamond is already a monopoly.
So back in the day, right? Didn't comics used to ship their own books? Like,
so there were different like sections. So from what I know, I'm not an expert in this, but there was like a New York section that they would give their comics, and then like a California section. Marvel then started buying them. I think DC did too. And then like they saw, oh no, this is not good. And then Diamond is what ended up culminating after that disaster, from what I know. That's what ended up happening. So
it's like you look at it and, you know, it's like for years before Diamond came out, they distributed comics, whether it was a grocery store or grocery store or, you know, newsstands and all those other places, you know? So it's kind of like, could you still do that today? You know, if Diamond went under, they would have to figure out a way, I guess.
But how would Diamond go under, you know? That's the question. Oh, I mean, because of this, it's just like, I don't see any.
Just say Diamond said, oh, we're closing the doors, so we're not coming back again. Because
real quick, because Sweet's building on this. So his first question was, would you do a subscription digital service that gets new issues on day of release? I'm guessing.
No, because that's the same concept of you just buying digital. I personally would get digital because of work. I would have to. So I'd have to read the comics, but I don't know if I would have as big of a haul. I think I would read a lot less comics.
Orlando Perez says IDW already said they won't have any new comics for May. So regardless if physical books do come back, May, there will be nothing from IDW. And then Sweet followed up his with, they can't stop comics completely, Kat. That would be the nail in the coffin for both digital and physical. I disagree.
How's that the nail?
How? Yeah, that would actually be good. That means, hey, the virus is happening. What about Wonder Woman? Is it are we putting a nail in Wonder Woman's
movies? Are we putting nail in the movie industry because no movies are being released right now?
Same thing with video games. We were just talking about Last of Us getting delayed. A bunch of everything is on delay right now. How would comic books be the last nail? That makes no sense. Everything is being stopped. It actually would make better sense to wait and continue everything on an even playing field, digital and physical. And it's not forever. It's what? How long? Let me ask everybody here, and everybody in the comments can answer as well. How long do you think this is going to last with Diamond being closed? I'm predicting at the very most, 2.5 months to 3.
I say 2 months.
2 months.
I'd say 2 as well.
So there you go.
Because I would hope at least businesses would be able to open somewhat by then.
So
I'm not saying that we'll be over the coronavirus, but
I think it's not a matter of, again, not a matter of when we get back to normal. It's when they get back to normal.
Right.
So it's like we get back to normal, but then they got to get the comics, got to get to them, and they got to get the comics to the shops. So it's not like, again, it's not like when everything opens up again, it's like, you know, Diamond is going to distribute and takes time.
Right. So again, 2 months, that's 2 issues. If let's say it's 2 months and then they come back in the third month, 3 issues, it's not going to destroy the industry, 3 issues of each book. And very few books double up anymore.
And, you know, I was thinking of this too, you know, when it comes to physical books and not going.
Okay, go ahead. Finish yours.
Going digital is like, look at all these cons, right? We have all these Comic Cons to go to. These creators, like we were talking about earlier, rely on these cons, these physical comic books that sell their stuff. Whether you're an independent creator like Kat or Chris or Brant, to all the big boys like Donnie Cates and everybody else. They look to push their books. You know, how boring would it be if you have digital comic books only, and, you know, who's going to sign those digital comic books, right? Don't you love going to cons and seeing all those cool comic books and getting your creators to sign them? Like, that's what it's about, man. That's why digital comics just don't work. You know, it just defeats the whole thing.
So going back to Sweet's comment.
Yeah, I just want to hear what people are saying real quick, and then I'll go back. And
it's a tough situation. I mean, the answer is that there's no answer. Everyone's trying to figure it out. What's really wonderful about this comic book community, though, is that everyone works together. Even though the fans create Marvel hates each other, DC hates each other, everyone hates each other. That's not true. Everyone in the industry really are all, no, I wouldn't say everyone's friends, but like such a small community. We really all respect each other, and we're all working together to make this industry live as long as it can and last forever. So everyone in the industry is trying to create a plan to make this all okay. Yeah. Which I think is beautiful. And
comic people, we're dedicated to our books. We're dedicated to the company. So it is profitable. It's still very profitable, just like video games and movies. There are dedicated people to movies and a lot of strong dedicated people to specific video games and their franchises. Comic books have a dedicated audience. We'll be there when the comics come back. They're not going to lose anyone. And anyone who would walk away after 2 to 4 months just because, hey, we have to take a pause, there's a virus going on. Obviously, maybe they weren't as dedicated, or maybe they were already on their way out the door. We don't know. But I know that this truly heavy dedicated people, the ones that love this industry, myself included, I'll be there. I can wait to read Spider-Man. I can wait to read the Avengers and everything else.
That's why I'd rather wait. I'd rather it be that everyone's reading these comics at the same time, getting excited, than, all right, here's a handful of digital people reading it, and now all the printed people are just waiting, and it's just like, but then, like, so if you read it digitally already, what's the point of buying printed? And that's when I think it goes downhill. If you just stop, who's losing money? No one, because everyone's on pause. It's a pause. Right. But if you still do digital, there's a lot more chance of comic book stores losing money. And
the little stores, not stores like Midtown, DCBS, they'll still keep running, but like the mom and pop stores, sure. And see, we got some people that are saying, I'll wait. I can wait. And now I want to go back to here. Another reason Marvel and DC won't stop making books digitally is because it will be free money. They would be.
And that's an issue for sure. That's true.
An issue, but I think that there's still strong sales in physical, and then they're going to lose sales in physical by doing digital. I don't know if they're going to be willing to. I don't know. They haven't released a statement, but I personally am going to be waiting. I won't be buying anything.
Yeah, no, I don't either. And then how are you going to do your YouTube videos? Like, right, comic book calls. Hey guys, here's my digital comics.
Mike, I do it every Tuesday because I get my books monthly. It's hard, and I honestly, that's why I'm hating going back. I hate it. When I first started my reviews, I had my books in hand. Mike used to have to scan them up and down when we were doing the review. That's why I'm thinking about going back to my weekly deliveries instead of like just saying the name of a book and having a little image pop up. I don't like having just digital, stuff to show in my reviews. I like having, hey, look at this, and then I can open the book and go see this panel and see this and this. It's just I miss it, and I'm sure if I miss it, anybody else who would be going digital in this time is going to miss it too.
Well, that's why us comic fans love New Comic Book Day so much. Why it's such a big deal. Like, those new comic books come out. It's a whole event. You go to the store.
You see your friends at the store,
Yep. You talk to the comic book shop manager. You talk about the stories that happened during the week. You look for like hidden gems, like what you might find, what kind of deals and stuff like that. So just think about those digital comics and just think about if you buy those, all that stuff goes away. The only thing you might have is like Barnes and Nobles and places like that where you can pick up trades or graphic novels.
They'll have like the little spin.
When it comes to the everyday comic shop, that would go away, and all that special stuff that you loved about collecting comics, it goes away with it. And then that's when I think I stopped the hobby, because it's not the same. It's completely different.
You're changing the entire game in one fell swoop, and that's not what I got into comic books for. I have comic books behind me. I have comic books in front of me. I have boxes worth of books that are happy memories, honestly. I wouldn't give that up for the world, but I'm not changing for just strictly digital. Like Mike, I'll get trades. I have no problem getting trades. I bought a bunch for just reading material. I was showing Cap before the show. Just to read, to have a good time while stuck inside. So buying trades doesn't bother me to have a physical medium.
Yeah. I mean, I do think, though, because of this, I think some stores will close. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm sure some of them, are obviously can't afford to close for 2-3 weeks, or can't wait for the whole, stimulus package or whatever they're going to do for small business owners. They can't wait for that, unless like there's some comments in there that the landlords will be will be understanding. Maybe not. It just depends. When people need money, they're going to ask for their money, and sometimes they just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. That's the issue. So there's 2 questions. I think
SM down. From SM down, he said, "Are you guys able to go to work?" I know Michael can't. I work from home.
I work from home.
Leave it up, and Kat works from home, and then I leave it up to Mike Spider say if he wants to say.
Yeah, I mean, my personal income has been cut more than half because I teach. A lot of you guys know I teach tennis, and so I teach for the county, and the county shut down all their group classes. So I'm not able to teach my group classes. However, I am still allowed to teach private lessons because I keep a distance from the kids, and I hand sanitize the ball hoppers that they use to pick up balls. And so I don't have to come close contact with them. So I'm at least able to do some private lessons, but my income is not nearly as what it is, when I teach the group classes with the private lessons. So it is definitely, hurts in the family pocket too, because, I got my wife, she's working at home right now. The kids are at home. And so, yeah, it definitely hurts, and it hurts for all you guys too. I mean, it's, the people that are watching, I'm sure are affected, Chris and Kat, I'm sure might not get as much work as usual. And Michael,
honestly, yeah, which is, I mean, I'm lucky. I want to knock on wood on that, is that I've been very lucky that I've had a workflow because I've been working at my job for a very long time. So I'm, trusted reporter. But if comics stop, that's when, I report on comics. Luckily, I work for DC as well. So, we do stuff from a year before. So it's like digital stuff from there. But it's every day things are changing right now. Again, knock on wood, very happy. And hopefully there is still comic news out there and articles that we can post, which I'm sure there will be. So I'm lucky in that regard.
And then do you guys think
selling now is where I'm struggling, which we've talked about. So
do you guys think the creators can afford a delay in their books, digitally or physically? And that community aspect of comics exists on the web as well, guys. Doesn't need to happen in store.
All right, so I'm gonna do
agree and disagree
here, right? Yeah.
There's 2 things here. I think we're all
the last thing you want to talk about first.
Let's do the delay, how the delay one first, and then we'll go question by question after that. And my phone and everything just went off at the same time.
Oh, it's Mike coming on. I'm gonna add him to see. All right, there we go.
Did Brant try coming on?
I think he did.
I think so.
Yeah,
because I think when he was coming on, it kicked me out.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, I just think like StreamYard's been having some issues, and I think they're having some issues with. He mentioned it earlier that it could be as a lot of people are on the internet, so I think it's overloading a little bit.
I think Sweet's really trying to fight for digital, and I understand him, but I think everybody right now, there are a lot of people out of work right now. Can they afford to be out of work? Of course not. Can creators afford the delay for their book? Of course not. But at this time, I think that the independents are doing the right thing. I hope Marvel and DC do the right thing and wait. Yes, it hurts the pocket, but think about the people that are out of work already right now. Look at Michael. Michael's not working, and Michael probably won't be working until maybe September.
Yeah. I mean, everybody is affected. So, I mean, yeah, there's so many people that are not working. Comic creators, if their books are delayed too much, then they're affected too. It's just the way it goes.
And filing for unemployment too.
Everybody,
Yeah, exactly. And that the community aspect of comics exists on the web as well. Yes, it does exist on the web. It does exist in physical form as well. It doesn't have to happen in stores. I mean, this show is like, hanging out with people in your comic shop. You're right. It's very true. But we're loyal to the physical medium.
And it's also different when you go into a comic book store.
Mm-hmm. So while we are The digital
You can
community.
say that about anything virtually, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You never have to go outside if community is only on the internet. It's like interacting with people
Yeah.
is different than talking to people.
Yeah.
Which is why we're all struggling with this pandemic, is that we can't talk to anybody and we can't interact with anybody.
Right. I mean, anything that you do, I feel physically is better, right? Can you imagine this show if we were all together? It'd be a lot better. You know, physical comics are better. It's just, you just deal with situations, you know? And it's like, if we don't have to deal with a digital format, then the physical format, I feel, is better, you know? I mean, it's just the way I look at it. And when it does go digital completely, whenever that happens, then it happens. But until then, I want to delay it as long as possible. You know, I truly don't think comics will ever truly go away. They're a test of time. Look at how long they've been around and look at what they've survived through. So I don't think there's going to ever be people that are going to stop drawing and putting them on paper and you're going to physically read them. You know what I'm saying? It's such an artistic thing. I don't know, man. It's just, maybe I'm just old. I don't know.
I mean, I'm a fetus, and I agree.
And then Brad says he does physical and digital, but he prefers physical, always has, but it doesn't bother him to read things digitally as well. Again,
and what was that other question that Sweet had, though? Did we miss half of it? Let me look back. Oh, do you think creators can afford a delay in their books? Did we answer that?
What we were talking about. Yeah, we were saying everybody who's out of work can't afford it.
Oh, right. That's how we went into that. Okay, yeah. Yeah. We'll see how that works out.
I prefer being able to pick up at whatever time I want. And this is true. And if you don't have internet, yeah. And I look, with Brand, they're just, some people like digital, some people like physical. I grew up reading my books physically. When I first got review copies way back when, before Comic Frontline, it was kind of foreign for me to read books on a computer for a while. So I love the physical. You can't take the physical away from me. I just love it.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you guys for all these comments, and I hope we discuss this in good detail and you guys enjoy the conversation. I'm sure we'll be having a lot more of these type of conversations in the next couple of weeks and how this all goes and how things, you know.
Let's just hope Marvel and DC hold it off. Let's hope they hold their books back. But it's like Sweet said, and unfortunately I have to agree, money talks sometimes with certain companies, and Marvel and DC are big ones, and I feel like it's a shame because people like myself and Mike who will not pay for something digitally. I'll buy a couple of single issues outside of my norms, but for example, Mike's only getting Spider-Man, so that's a hit for DC, and that's a hit for any other Marvel book that's coming out, like Outlawed and stuff like that.
I also want to welcome Brevin back to the cast. He said he hasn't been on for a while, so welcome back.
Long time no see, man. Welcome back. Welcome,
sir.
It's great to see some old friends popping back in.
New ones too, yeah. We have had so many great viewership today, so we really appreciate it. And I wrote everyone's name down, so if you guys comment, you are up for that Red Superman digital copy, which we'll put our email at the end so you guys can message us. We're getting a lot of stuff about this New Warrior thing, and I'm just gonna say that I think all of us know about it, but we're not going to discuss it here because I think it just goes a little bit too much into political things that we probably don't want to go into. And when the book comes out, we'll talk about it. I mean, you guys know what happened with it, but we're sorry. It's just like, I don't think there's anything favorable with the conversation, but we do see your comments on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, should we read out Brand's comment? I know we featured it, but
I featured it. I was waiting. Catching up, quick thoughts on the news. No comics from publishers is scary. Agreed. No free comic book day. Diamond shutting down. It's the best decision right now, but it sucks too.
Absolutely sucks. You know, it always sucks when you can't get your new comic books, you know, and we're gonna hate it. And but I'm not paying digital for it if they do release digitally, is like we talked about. And I'll just come up with other things to do on my channel for right now, and that's all.
And my review will be put on pause regardless of digital or not. Well, we'll see. because again, you don't know. We do work with companies, so we might get something in our email.
That's true. If they release it, it just depends if they want to release it and want us to talk about it. So that's the other thing too. Like, I don't want to discuss a book if it's not released, you know. So it's
even if the embargo is lifted, unless like, which I don't think they would even do that. I think they're gonna, you know. Are you all doing top 5 this week? Yes, and next week. After that, we got to figure out how comics are being released. So we don't know. But this week and next week, we are doing top 5, which we'll get into. Let's just do the under the radar, I guess, because we've talked about this topic.
All right, so we're going to go into now under the radar of the books that we would like to talk about, whether we read them or not read them. And my under the radar book I would like to talk about this week is Conan the Barbarian, issue number 14. So what I like about this book, I want to just say it was an okay issue, not saying if it was good or bad, like I'm in the middle of it. But I do have to say, though, that with Conan, with it talking about the Celestial Army from the Kalima gods and the whole thing where Conan survived, of course, that sword that went through him. And we all knew he was going to survive because he knows about survival. The thing is that he had other people that he meets up with along with helping them throughout situations. Like we had like a huge spider that he had a battle with where he met up with 2 people. And he finds out that the place that he fell in is built to kill all who enter, which is actually something really interesting that gets you into the book from last issue to this issue. And they just need to know how to work together in order to get out of this hellhole that they are into. And the thing that really caught me, though, is that one of the characters, with spoiler alert, so there's going to be spoilers, so be aware of that Yurnik was murdered by blood, and everybody's going to think that Conan did it, who all will think that he did it. And that's to be continued in the next issue. So definitely something to read if you've been reading Conan the Barbarian, but like I said, it's a 50-50 for me. So let's go to Chris. What is your under the radar?
My under the radar is a book that actually surprised me. It's called Starship Down. It's from Dark Horse Comics. It's, I think, a mini series. I believe it's a mini series. I finished my books, and it was a number 1, and it interested me. I liked the artwork in the book, so I decided to read it. There's a lot of talking heads in the beginning. It involves a scientist who's going into this archaeological dig. She's put under an NDA, but not any typical NDA. It's more of a, if you ever speak a word of this to anybody, you'll be considered a treason or a traitor to the state. You'll be, forget it. And she didn't understand why at first. She's like, it's just cave drawings, isn't it? Or something like that. And as the person is telling her more and more about what they found, he's alluding that there's more to it, but not getting to the point. They get to the site, and we find out that they found an actual UFO starship in the ice. And she explores it a little bit, not inside, just looks at it for a bit. And then there are other people that are in the team. She gets introduced to a little bit of the team before, and then she gets introduced to the cardinal who gets involved. So we're having religion in there. We're having scientists, archaeologists, everything. And finally, after all of that, and there's some really fun dialogue between her and the cardinal because she doesn't believe in religion and he doesn't like her for that. But they finally enter the spaceship, and they find that this starship was abducting Neanderthal humans, but they were frozen, not preserved. Apparently there was an accident or something, and they were preserved through the ice, but not preserved in the ship. So they're dead. At least I think they are. I'm not even sure. But that's where the book kind of ends, with this person this alien that was abducting Neanderthal humans. And that is a super briefy on this book. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this book, a lot of information, but I loved it. I like the artwork. I'm definitely coming back for issue 2.
Also, Brant mentioned his under the radar was 7 Days, issue 6.
there.
Awesome. All right, let's go to Kat. Your under the radar book.
Mine is The Amazing Mary Jane, issue 6, surprisingly enough. I haven't loved this series, but I thought it kind of found its footing with this issue, where we get to see Mary Jane goes on this talk show and she witnesses a murder, and now she's kind of on the run. That way she doesn't get murdered. And what I loved is that Peter is waiting to go on a date with her, and he's the one waiting for her as she's like the superhero. So I had a lot of fun with this issue.
Yeah, I read this too. It was a very fun issue. So definitely something for all you Mary Jane fans out there who want to get more Mary Jane action. It's in that comic book.
Yeah, I feel like it was the best issue thus far. Oh, also one thing I want to mention before you go, Michael.
Sure.
Barry Allen said his under the radar was the Upshoot, The Resistance. We're actually going to do a whole topic video on all the titles, including a title that comes out maybe 2 weeks ago. We don't know when it's coming out anymore, but it was planned to come out 2 weeks ago. So we're going to do a topic on that, and that'll be released tomorrow.
All right. And finally, Mr. Spider Slayer, what is your under the radar book for this week?
Oh, he's...
we can't hear.
He's going to come back.
Can you guys hear?
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we did, and then
we did, and then you pooped out.
Sean B says, Barry, I just picked up Resistance today. Looking forward to it. I was really happy to read something from, I never could pronounce his last name, but JMS. And Inbound said, so many S's and T's and Z's.
Yeah.
And then, did you read Sweetheart? I've never heard of it.
Nope, I never heard of it either.
I did see it. I saw it on my indies list. I did not read it.
Let me see. Oh, it's Action Lab.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
I don't read much from Action Labs. I should. I might.
Me either. I've only read, I think Tomboy from there, and I read that all the way through. But Sean B, I went ahead and got a few of the AWA comics because I knew I would have some time. Yeah,
I'll tell you, Sean,
to try it out.
Yeah, definitely. On my review this week, I talked about all 4 books, and I get a strong feeling of previous companies that I've worked with, Radical, and I forgot what that other company was that was out.
I remember Radical Comics. That was such a long time ago.
Radical. They were before my 100th comic review. I remember they reached out to me, and I reviewed all of their stuff a little bit at a time.
What happened to them?
Loved. Oh, they stopped. They started making movies.
Did they?
Yeah, they made 2.
Oh,
they
made Hercules
with The Rock, and then they made, I forgot what the other one was, but that one was with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they've done anything since, though.
No,
like since those movies.
There was a faction they called Big City Comics, which reached out to me and sent me, I think, 2 books, but then they stopped as well. But then there was that other company, I forgot, the one that did The Night of the Living Dead, the big like 2-part series.
I don't remember.
It was about 3 years ago.
Oh no,
I can't remember the name of the company, but this company I've got good vibes on, and I don't want to say too much because, like you said,
also like this company actually has like people that have worked in the industry for a really long time and worked for like the previous editor in chief of Marvel is the head of this company, so there's also bigger people on this as well.
I recommend everybody try the number ones. I think there's something for everybody. I mean, I feel like Archangel 9 is something Micah would love. Hotel is something Micah would love. I like both of those. Resistance is creepy because it's exactly what's going on in the world right now, only a little bit more severe, and that was very good. And Red Border was another really good book. Red Border, a little less for me, but I liked all of them.
We have Joseph Hardy. Did you guys read Finger Guns? Yeah, me, Brant, and Mike read it. I don't know if anyone. I'm not continuing it, but I don't remember if any of us were going to get issue 2, but we did talk about it.
Really good. The writer was at my local comic shop when the book came out. I got a post. Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
We got Jesse who joins us as well, and then Brant has a comment that was also Bill Gemis, who is part of AWA. Yeah, no, there's huge names part of that company. So
welcome back, Mike.
It's glad to be back.
Okay, so you're under the radar book.
under the radar book was it the Family Tree issue 5?
That was a good issue, man.
Yes.
Oof, man, that was awesome. Like everything that Meg went through about her like final evolution of becoming a tree and her, being planted. She's basically the first one to become like a planted tree in the earth. It was wild. And then the narration for that book, is done by her brother, and her brother is a freaking, all of a sudden, the savior of the earth, or he's trying to be. And I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, so this
completely changed that book.
Yeah, so this ends like the whole story arc. Obviously, the first story arc.
That was it. Sorry, Brent figured it out for me. The other comic company was Double Take.
Oh, so basically, it just starts a whole new chapter for this book, and it's kind of like this goes back to issue 1. Remember, like when they were doing that narration and how the Earth was taken over and all that stuff. So I was just like, I was blown away by the end of this book. I was like, oh my gosh, this was so good. It was so well written. It just probably one of my favorite Jeff Lemire titles.
Yeah, and
I agree.
And to add to that, when I saw that last page, I could hear the music, I Stand Alone by Godsmack, and that was like the perfect ending to that scene right there. Just awesome.
I mean, I love just how it kept redefining itself, right? Because it's really a book that, like, you thought it was just going to be this family on a journey, and now you're 15 years later, this boy's older. How old is this? We miss Mike, but how old is this girl going to be? And like, what is this book? I think that's what's so fun about it, is that you don't even know what you're going to get next. Also, emotionally, it was really freaking good. You get the opener with the mom pretty much ready to divorce the father, and there's just so many good emotional beats in this book. So
lots of stuff. Yeah.
Mike, rejoin. Mike, I was just saying there are so many good emotional beats in that. I feel like this book, I'm excited to see it continue to redefine itself, because it just keeps on changing. And yeah, such a good freaking book. I'm glad a lot of us are reading it here. So if you haven't picked up Family Tree, one of Image's best for sure.
Yeah, and obviously there'll probably be the first trade based off of those first 5 issues, I guess, probably. I mean, I would think so. And you just felt bad for Meg. I mean, you really did. It was just like, and then she's learned to accept it. Like it just became one with the earth. It was just, god dang, it was so emotionally driven.
Thank God Grant's not on the show.
Yeah. He's like, oh, I don't know. Drop Family Tree.
It's so good. I don't know. Sometimes we're just on, well, at least me. I'm sometimes on the reverse for Brant. And it looks like this week we're on different sides here. But yeah, no, the emotion, man. Oh, it's so good. Brant doesn't like good comics.
Awesome.
Absolutely. All right. So we all went, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go to Mike with the top 5 and big books.
Man, I forgot this book came out already.
Yeah, so big books. The first one we're going to talk about, and I didn't buy this book because it didn't have the cover that I wanted. It was the cover that Kat got, and I was like, if they don't have that cover, I'm not buying the book, because I don't like Robin that much to spend $10.
No,
So it was Robin 80th anniversary. So was it worth the money that you spent for it?
Absolutely.
Oh, I was gonna say I don't think it's worth the money, but I don't think it was. It was like not a bad anthology.
Okay, good differing opinions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a bad anthology by any means. Oh, and Michael, you read it?
Yes, I actually loved this issue. Like, it talked about, like, Dick Grayson's side of the story, and you had him as also Nightwing. Huh?
No, I was telling Kat I got that comment.
See, that's why I don't like it, is because I feel like it's a Robin book. It's not a Nightwing book. It's not a Teen Titans book.
That's what surprised me.
Wait. But it went to also Jason Todd. It
sure.
did go to his story.
Dick Grayson had like 4 stories, and Jason's like, here's my one.
Well, because Dick Grayson had almost a longer run than the other Robins did.
But not as Robin.
But there was an origin of how he becomes Nightwing. That's what this book evolved.
Yeah, but that's when he was Robin. I agree with Kat that. See, they did an 80th anniversary for Robin, for Joker, for Batman, for Catwoman. If they wanted to do one, this is how I agree with Kat in this sense. If they wanted to, they could have easily done a Nightwing one as well, separate. Did I love the stories in the book? Absolutely. I loved each story had an artist from a time period I remember. The Robin, the very first story where Dick left as Robin to become Nightwing. The second story with the original artist that was on the very first volume of Nightwing. I forgot who the artist was from Titans, but he was also an artist that did the New Teen Titans. And then you had the Red Hood had a really nice artist. Damien's artist, I can't remember the Damien stories artist.
There was a Super Sun story in there, which again I know Tavia is gonna disagree with me, but this is not a Super Sons book.
Yeah, and also to point out what Chris was saying about Robin leaving, wasn't there a different scenario of why Robin left? Because this was totally different of why he left Batman to do his own things.
Dick Grayson, you mean? I don't know. They've changed it.
Like in the animated series, it was.
It's different from the comics.
I thought that maybe they would follow that.
No, they're gonna follow the comic version. I mean, I particularly didn't read the Nightwing when he left, so I don't know how he left in the comics, but I know it's not the same as the show. But yeah, anyways, I like the Jason Todd story. I thought that was really good, surprisingly. And I thought the Stephanie story was very good. I thought she was written in character. But I guess I understand Carrie Kelly not being in it. But I guess because it's out of continuity, and that's why they nabbed her. I was like, all right, I'm happy enough I got Steph. Steph was good.
Steph was the original artist that did her back when she was.
Even though I never liked that art, but yeah, as the original artist, different writer, but I thought she wrote her really well. I really liked her a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question on here that I wanted to answer real quick. Vinny says, hey guys, hey Slayer, does this mean your new comic book day pickup streak is going to be killed? Kind of, but not really, I guess, because I can't get new comic book day. So the week will be on hold until we get new comic books again. So I'll be doing something else in that place when it comes back. But the series will continue to go on once we get new comic books.
Technically, if new comics don't come out, you can say that your streak is continuing, because if there's no new books, I mean,
that's true. That's like
on you.
That's like if Christmas, Christmas and New Year's, there's no new books that come out, right? It's like, well, okay, no all.
Exactly. So technically there's no new books. It's not like Mike's purposely not getting them. Mm-hmm. They're not there to get.
Right.
We'll find out next week. Hopefully we'll know by then.
Hopefully all this blows over by freaking next week, but not next week.
Yeah, coronavirus is going to be cured by next week.
Yeah, by next week.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping we get more of a definitive, like, oh, we're only going to be closed for this amount of time. I mean, more.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, things keep being.
I don't think the virus will be done by next week, guys. I don't think it's.
No, we're joking on that.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, I mean, I'm not a scientist. I'm not in any medical field, but I know that it's going to take at least a month or two before we even see a peak, let alone an ending.
Chris, you're not a scientist? I didn't know that.
I actually am. I just don't want the world to know it.
All right, so let's talk about another big book that came out this week. This is Outlawed issue 1. I was really anticipating this book.
Did you read Gwen first, or did you read Outlawed first?
Did I read what?
Gwen Ghost Spider? No, I was just asking, did you read Ghost Spider first, or did you
read Outlawed first?
Good for you, because I read Ghost Spider first, and it spoiled the ending for me.
Yeah, Mike actually in our group mentioned it, and I was gonna read.
Yeah, I read it beforehand.
Yeah, because I figured it tied into all those other young heroes, so I was like, let me read this first. So going to this book, I was very underwhelmed by this. I think obviously there's a lot of setup, but just the way it happened, it was very generic, right? It's like, oh, let's fight this big bad dragon, and then someone gets hurt. Do you know what these guys have faced in their lifetime? They have faced a lot worse. than a freaking dragon, and they've gone through a lot more stuff than what they experienced. And I was just like, and now we're doing this cradle act. Like it just seemed just very weak plot to get to this point for our heroes. And I'm not saying that I'm not going to read this series anymore. I'm definitely going to read it because I think it's going to be an interesting plot to see how our heroes deal with this situation. But I was just like, this was a very, and for the most part, it was a boring issue too. It was just like all this stuff happens in court and blah, blah, blah,
I
blah.
feel like this is very much,
it was going to be our title. If
I
you're going to say
like the issue. I like the issue. I was angry for the teen superheroes. The Marvel Universe just loves to throw politics. Their political system really loves to cause civil wars and stuff like that. I mean, I got a huge Civil War vibe from this, even though the heroes aren't fighting each other. It's similar. Instead of registering, they don't want
ramifications of the teens. The ramification of the teens is the exact same.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sure.
They get thrown in jail. Either they get thrown in jail, they get told to stop, or the families get in trouble. So yeah, it is like Civil War in a way. It's just not between the superheroes. It's the government versus these teen superheroes.
That's exactly, I felt like what Civil War was from that beginning point, was that it was the government against the superheroes, because you're like, okay, well now you have to tell us who you are because this teen blew up shit. You know, that's what happened.
It's like you got to register. You got to register, and if you don't register, you're going to be
and you have to have a sponsor.
So it's the same exact thing here.
Yeah, some heroes can be teen heroes as long as they have an adult sponsor.
Yeah.
What I loved was Gwen's reaction in Ghost Spider this week was exactly how I would feel as a teen superhero. And I agree with everything she said about the law and about this is a stupid world. I'm going back to my world. My world, they're just happy to have heroes, let alone governing whether kids should be heroes or not.
See, I love Gwen, as you guys know. I love Ghost Spider. I didn't love that issue because I really didn't understand where the anger came from, because she's not from that Earth. And it's not stopping her from doing anything.
It's the suit. I took it as the Venom suit was.
But she's had it the whole time.
For some reason, Pete had the suit for a long time before he started noticing his attitude was changing. Maybe the same thing's happening with Gwen.
I don't know.
That wasn't my favorite issue of Gwen Stacy either.
Oh, it really wasn't. I'm just trying to come up with a reason why she was so angry.
I was just like right away she was jumping down Peter's throat, and like I get that she's angry, but it wouldn't be like her to jump down his throat or take it out on him. He's just relaying the information, and I felt like that just wasn't like her.
Yeah, I just I thought it was out of character, and also I think it tied in just because it needed to tie in. Because we were dealing with the Fantastic Four stuff, and that was put on pause. It was just like that one cliffhanger. So
yeah,
it just
that's and that issue felt like it was a little bit jumpy too, right? Mm-hmm. It was like, oh, I got to save people from this fire. We're going to deal with the Outlawed situation with Peter. Oh yeah, well, don't forget we got the Fantastic Four stuff going on,
and they even threw
Richard thing happening.
And they threw in Jackal, her talking about Jackal.
Yeah, the whole Jackal. So they're trying to talk about the last story. Like there was a lot going on in that issue.
Yeah,
I didn't hate the Jackal stuff because at least that made it connected. I do want to read some of Brand's comments. We were featuring them, but Outlawed. Outlawed. I liked it. Oh, this is a different comment now, but we'll read this one. What I also didn't get is that it wasn't that long ago New Warriors was back together and doing their thing, and then they just turned on a dime to go against the kids. And the other comment was Outlawed. I liked it. I liked the characters, but I agree it was weak. The reason they came under fire. The only thing I liked was that the potential of the Kamala thing that she's and cookies. The potential of the Kamala thing where they're using her as a symbol to not do this, even though she is a superhero.
I feel like Kamala is always the epicenter of the drama that's going on with the teenagers lately.
She's the most popular teen hero right now, so.
But she's the epicenter of the drama. Wouldn't you want to space it out to other teen heroes?
Well, Viv is really the drama causer here because she is the one she's the speedball of this story.
I mean, I truly hate Kamala's family and friends. They always cause stupid drama.
Her friends are great.
Except for one friend. Her friends are horrible.
No, Zoe is great. Nikita is great.
Okay, whatever her name is that caused the drama is a pain in the ass, and so is her family.
Yeah. So
No,
Brant
that wasn't
says,
her friend. That was someone who went to another school. That's
Oh,
not in her.
okay. I thought it was one of her friends. I haven't read.
No,
it
that's from Miles' school. That wasn't her school.
Either way, it's always something surrounding Kamala that starts the drama. If it's not her family, it's some random person she decides to save. Leave people alone. Let superheroes be superheroes.
I just want Kamala to have a smile on her face. What are you gonna say?
All I know is in the
No.
DC universe right now, the Teen Titans are laughing at Marvel because they're like, "I'm a teen."
They're in hell right now, so they're not doing well.
they're in hell right now. See,
Brant's comment. He said, I actually loved her anger. I think the outrage was justified. I mean, it was just that conversation that was good. The rest of it was all over the place.
I'm glad you liked the conversation.
He was into it. All right. So that's Outlawed for you. So I think the main thing is where's it going to go from here? Right. And that's the important thing. We got how it all was set up. And now we'll see where these characters go, because now it's all also taking place in Miles Morales. It's taking place in New Warriors. It's taking place in Carmela's book. So it's taking place in all these other books as well. So it's a crossover event. So we'll see where it goes. And if it pays off to be a good event for our young teen heroes, which eventually leads into champions as well, right? So,
yep.
All right. Next is TMNT Power Rangers issue 4. I'll let you guys talk about it because I never started reading it. So maybe I'll buy it in trade because you guys say it's so good. So talk away.
Ranger Turtles, Ninja Power Rangers. Man, it's so cool seeing the flip of the coin, though. So
Teenage
the Turtles.
Mutant Rangers.
Huh?
Teenage Mutant Rangers.
Exactly.
It is.
It's really good.
And surprisingly enough, I actually like the Turtles more in this issue than I did the Power Rangers.
Yeah, the Rangers.
I didn't see the Rangers. I'm like, who is that? Why are they running so quickly? It's like they were too good at being ninjas because I didn't know what was going on in the battles.
Who knows? But I know they saved Tommy, and then you find these mutant putties, and Tommy saves his friend. And the Rangers still can't use their coins, apparently, so the Turtles get to use the big mech, and then it's to be concluded. And
Brant also thought it was a good issue, Turtle Rangers. And that was one of his panels, which I should repost the panels here. If you guys haven't voted yet, vote for your favorite panel. Favorite panel.
Mine. It would have definitely been mine. It was on my thumbnail for my review today. It
was good stuff from there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Is anyone going to pick up Griff foil variant for issue number 40?
For what comic?
If you're talking about Power Rangers, I've been getting all the chrome covers.
And also, I think 50 is what they're up to. And who knows if it's going to be released?
Yeah. Now.
True. Yep. All right. So let's actually give our number 5 book for the week. And my number 5 was, a book we already talked about, was Family Tree. So that was my number 5. So Michael, you have a number 5?
Yes, I do. It is Red Sonja, Age of Chaos, issue number 3, which basically just talks about the amulet. And we all know that the amulet is the one that fixes time, past, present, and future. And it's cool how in the article Hell offers to help, but in exchange for a small favor, and we don't really know what that small favor is until you kind of read the book, because it kind of hints what it was talking about, and of course Sonja accepts it. Now, the only way to get the amulet quickly is to go through that hellfire, which actually burns her whole arm to get it because of the hellfire and everything. And also there was this character, and I can't remember where I saw his face from. It was this guy with the smiley one, the like a character smiley, like with a smile. And I'm saying, where have I seen him before? Because I know I've seen him somewhere, and I can't remember. But I remember reading about him, so that kind of actually was that. And he's going after the amulet as well, and then we get introduced to new characters, and basically, yeah. And also the small favor was that Sonya would have to kill this girl who's like a vampire thing. Of course, Sonya doesn't do that, and then she goes to Saint, the last you heard of me, and that was the end for that. So, yeah, everyone's just going after the amulet, and that's what's really making it a good issue. So, yeah. So
you
that's
do the clicking, Cat.
No, you click.
Okay, I'll click.
All right. Well, it was a very good issue, nonetheless.
I clicked.
Right. Glad you enjoyed it. Cat and Chris are fighting over the clicking.
I know.
Time.
It's always when I'm doing a book.
Because if we don't click it, Tevia's going to ask us 5 times. Did you see it?
Exactly. So we just like.
Now you see it.
Try not to forget.
Now you see it. Now you don't.
All right. So, Cat, what was your number 5? And
Mine
while you're
was,
talking, you don't click. Chris is the only one that clicks. There's the rule. So when you're talking, you can't click.
I was too quick because mine's Mary Jane. And we already
Oh.
talked about it.
Well, there we go.
All right, Chris. Now you can't click.
Click.
What are you guys doing?
Click power. Sorry, I do it once. DC Unkillables issue number 2. Deceased Unkillables number 2. I said DC. I forgot deceased. I enjoyed this second issue so much. I'm actually going to get this full series in single issues. I went back and bought the first, the second, and I'm probably going to get the third if it comes out. Question mark. I hope. This has been a great segue. It takes place between Deceased 1 and it sets up for Deceased 2. And it's just the survivors of the apocalypse. You know, we find out the supervillains that were saved by Mirror Master in the mirror world. They try to take Cassandra. Her mother survived and tries to take her back to the mirror world. She doesn't want to go. Wonder Woman finds Mirror World and starts to attack all the villains. They run out and end up staying with Commissioner Gordon, Red Hood, and Cassandra, and they end up taking care of the kids and starting to train them, get them, you know, all strong and prepared for the dark world that's outside. And then, unfortunately, Mirror Master gets infected, and there's an attack on the school. Bane gets infected, and then basically breaks
everything
the wall
that was outside.
Yeah, and lets everything outside in. This has been a blast. I've been enjoying it.
And I think what was good about this, again, it's written by Tom Taylor. So the way Tom Taylor wrote this book made it really good because he did such a nice job at giving a softer side of these villains. Right?
I loved it.
They wind up, you know, being attached to these kids. You get to see a softer side of Cheetah. You get to see Bane working with like these children, and it was just awesome. It's just something that you've never seen before. They became a family with each other because they were in there for months doing these things that they had to do, you know, and one little thing set the whole just wound up going south, you know. And you even saw, and I shared this with Kat, that you wound up seeing Cassandra have a relationship with Jason Todd in this world. And it's just like,
man. That's a good parent.
It was just wild. And Cassandra, she doesn't talk very much. She's obviously a woman with very few words in this series, you know, which is good. And I just, it's same. I agree with Chris. I thought this was a phenomenal. The only thing that knocks it a bit is just the artwork. The artwork.
I was going to say that's what pulled me away was the art.
The artwork's a little bit, especially with Cheetah when she got her head pat. It looked like her face just became.
I think it's going for this anime style of art in a way. I think that's what it's going for. Kind of reminds me of like how DC does their movies. It kind of reminded me of that, their animated movies. So, but written wise, Tom Taylor, man, alternate world, fantastic shit. It was so good. All right. So everyone went for their number 5.
Anyways.
Click.
Did I freeze up or am I still?
No, you're fine. You're good.
Okay, I didn't know what Kat said.
Oh, I said I was gonna sneeze, but it didn't happen. That's why I muted myself and I was like doing this.
Oh.
Have a good night, JDA3 Comics. Thank you for stopping in.
Thank you. Consistently like 30 viewers, so thank you guys.
Thanks,
You
guys.
are awesome. Thank you all so much again for being
Really
here.
appreciate it.
And we hope you're enjoying the show, whether you're watching on Comic Corner 2.0 or Comic Frontline again. Wherever you're watching, subscribe to the opposite channel. And if you're new to both channels, subscribe to both channels.
Absolutely. All right. So we're going to move on, right? Some more big books. Well, let me just tell you, this week was ginormous. It was the most books I have ever read in 1 week. And that's
a lot.
I think I read, and I forgot, like X-Force issue 9 didn't make my pile this week. But I did wind up reading it. I did read it. So I think I read, and I told you guys last night, I think I read anywhere from like 32 to 35 books altogether this week, which is, I would have never done that in a normal week when there's not a pandemic going around, you know? All right. So we talked about DC's Unkillables. So now we're going to talk about another number one that came out this week, and it was Spider-Woman issue number 1. I thought this issue was.
I have for some reason, I got the super secret surprise variant.
Yeah, the scarce variant. So that's awesome.
I don't understand. I got so scared. I thought somebody made a mistake with my comic, and it took Brant looking up. He's like, dude, that's just.
That would have been better, Chris, if it was a mistake.
That's a Mayday.
It would have been like one of a kind. Hell yeah. I was like, oh, dude, what do I have in my hand?
Someone like rewrote
secret variant. I was like, oh, surprise variant. Do this more often, Marvel, with your physical stuff. This was really cool.
We got Brand said, I read 30 total, but 2 of those were advanced issues for our topic time. I won't be joining you for tonight. We miss Brand so much, and it sucks that this has happened to us twice in a row now.
I hate it. I wish we could all be on the same panel without somebody being left out because StreamYard is.
Yeah, that sucks, man. But I'm glad you're able to join us in the comments and, virtually. See, this is like the comic book store situation. This is how it feels. It's like you're virtually in the comments, but it doesn't feel like,
not the same.
You're actually here. So
right. If it's like you can't be in the comic book shop, you got to go online. And when you can't be online, then you got to be in the comments,
Yeah.
So it's like it goes down stages,
A lot of people are talking about this variant. Apparently, this I got from Midtown ordering online. It's a lucky shot. You order a regular cover. This was actually, I got the regular Spider-Woman cover, and it's a 1 in 10 chance or a 1 in 20 chance you get the variant. So I guess it's just one of those things where I guess if it's a local comic shop, they might hold it on the side. I would say if you'd like to try for it, order like 2 copies from Midtown or online, wherever they sell single issues, and hope for the best. This was, like I said, a humongous surprise for me, but it makes me happy that for some of my books, I order them online. I would never pay the $20 that they're asking for it on eBay, but I mean, hey, I'm very happy that I got
I paid $20 for that because it's Mayday.
It's not Mayday, by the way.
Yeah,
it's Spider-Man's costume. It's not Mayday.
Mayday had his Spider-Man's costume for the Secret Wars. And it's the eye. Look at that. It's
Chris,
her eyes.
Sell it to Kat. She'll buy it. Just sell it to her.
This is my gem for this is the gem of 2020 for me so far. I'm keeping it.
Spider-Man, amazing Spider-Man. So amazing Spider-Man. Right, well, his
let's actually talk
insane.
About the issue. Let's talk about the
Spider-Woman. Let's talk about it.
So the issue was very action-packed. Mm-hmm. She was very angry, but there's a reason why. Okay, I felt like she was angry because of the suit. The suit, I think, actually made her that way.
Like,
and
it's so bad.
What's that?
Is it because she's like, oh, it's so bad? That's why she's so angry.
and I think it's just like, and why she's sick and all that other stuff. But I thought it was pretty badass, man. And I just love seeing just her being so pissed off. But I actually like the backup story because it slowed things down a little bit, and you got to see her and Roger and for a second, and then you get to see how she gets the outfit and stuff like that. So you get to see real action heavy pretty cool artwork in my opinion. And then that slower part of the story at the end. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I love her.
It was a backup story where she got her suit.
It was. Yeah, it wasn't. I feel like it was like still part of the same story. It was at the end.
It was too. It's just tied into kind of like how she got that suit, and then you obviously see the villain at the end who's behind her actually really getting that. She's behind of her getting that suit because she paid that seamstress or whoever runs that shop for her to have that suit. So it's leading into the stuff that's to come for her. So
yeah, I thought this issue was so freaking good. I was worried because like Dennis Hopeless had such a good run. And you're like, oh, how are they going to top it? But it kind of felt like in the same vein, it felt like a good predecessor. And I really liked the party too. Like I enjoyed the whole thing where you get to see this girl who's disabled and how they play with that. And she's still very spoiled, which I really like. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And
she's a rich kid.
Yeah, she's a rich kid, but we still get to see that story of her being disabled. But it's like that's not the main part of the. It's just they deal with disabilities really well. Maybe I'm not saying the right words for it. But
I love how she dealt with that one kid who was dressed as Deadpool, being very disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And whatnot. That was good. I'm sorry, I loved it. And yes, I saw somebody talk about cheesecake. One of the reasons why I'll probably be buying Spider-Woman from now on is I do love the covers. How many covers did you end up buying for Spider-Woman, Mike? I forgot. 3?
3. I got the cover that looks like that one, but she's wearing the
other suit,
the red costume, and then I got Kat's cover, which is the Art Germ cover, and then I got, of course, the J. Scott Campbell cover. So those are the 3 that I got.
I got this, which was supposed to be the regular one. I reordered a regular one. Watch, I get another variant. I'll do a giveaway. I got the black costume.
Give it away to me.
Oh, yeah, I'll give it to Kat maybe. I got the Art Germ one because I love Art Germ. I got the Ron Lime one because I love the artwork on it. And
that one is a really cool one, too.
And then I got J. Scott Campbell because I had to. And then Midtown was giving away a free lithograph for every order you make of Spider-Woman issue 1. So I got a free lithograph, and it advertises Disney Plus, of course. So
no, but this issue, man, the only thing I would say the art was like perfect for me. There's some moments where I'm like, I love that cliffhanger where she's throwing up, like we were talking about. But also, yeah, this is the first time a secondary story was like actually good because it had to do with the first story. So,
yes.
But I'm so glued. I loved it, and like you said, Mike, I love that Roger was in it. I like that Jerry was in it. So that her son. So I thought it was a really good issue, and I can't wait for issue 2 when we read it in 5 months when we get more.
Damn, I can't wait for the throw up.
We're gonna be like, oh yeah, this came out. I remember. All right, so let's go on here. So we are on our number 4s. So let's see. My number 4 was Batman issue 91. I like Batman. I think the best part of it was the Joker parts. Like those first couple of pages in there.
I liked Harley Catwoman too.
That's what I like.
I love Harley and Catwoman. Don't get me wrong. I love them. But Joker was so in character in this. And I loved it. I just loved how he was telling his story. And I loved how he was talking to the bartender. And he's like, I wanted to be that devil. And then I like how he was just like how the one bartender he killed. And he's like, you seem like you're the guy that's going to want to listen to me. And I loved it. I love the way he was written there. So I really enjoyed that. But don't get me wrong. The Joker and the Catwoman parts were just as good. But Joker, when he's well written like that, I enjoy the character so well. Overall issue was not as strong, I felt, in maybe a couple previous issues, but it's not like it's a major difference. It's got still my top 5. But because it was all action for the most part. But I really enjoyed it.
I love ICTV's comment, just 5 months, and it's like a barfing emoji. I really like the moment where Harley asked Catwoman if she knew Batman's secret identity.
Yeah.
He was like, wait, do you actually know his secret identity? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, I thought it was just a fetish that you guys didn't know who each other were. So I thought that was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So yeah, Batman was a pretty good book. I enjoyed it. It's just so much better. My gosh. It's kind of like you read that Tom King run. Fuck, my thing is getting messed up again. I'm gonna have to exit out real quick, okay?
Okay. And we'll talk about Batman. Brant had Red Mother issue 4, which I guess I could go into talking about that. So Red Mother was my number 4 as well, Brant. And I really enjoyed this issue. I love this book and I love the pacing of it because every issue is really much quicker than you think it's going to be. So she actually meets up with the guy who created the puzzle. And at the end, she goes to, and Mike is there. So hold on. So Mike, I was talking about my number 4, which was Red Mother. And that was also Brand's number 4. And I was saying that it's really cool to see how the pace is so quick for this book, but still, again, kind of steady with the tension it's building. But I love the ending. She goes back to the place that she was hurt and she sees the Red Mother once again. So I really enjoyed this book. And yeah, the tension is so good.
It's like whenever she seems like things are going in her favor, it takes a step back because she winds up seeing this Red Mother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just like, and while you're reading this, all you're thinking about is kind of like, oh my God, like what is going on in this book? Like you want to know so bad, but you enjoy the journey getting to that point. It never seems to get old, you know?
I've been loving it. I read 3 issues in a row to catch up to you guys.
Oh, I'm glad you, I mean, it's just like, it's one of my favorite indie books so quickly from issue 1. It's like, damn, this is so freaking good. Because you love Daisy. Like, she's just such an intriguing character. And obviously everything she's going through is really interesting. And it's just such a good horror book.
It's creepy, man.
Yeah, for sure. And the artwork is top notch.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So
absolutely, Mike left. Oh, we already showed your number 4, Tavia.
All right. I guess I'll do my number 4.
You see everything. Yeah. I'll just throw out my number 4 because we already talked about it.
Because sometimes his doesn't appear. So that's why he asks, because it doesn't appear on our side. So,
well, my number 4 was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers TMNT number 4. So.
And my number 4 is the book we already talked about, Amazing Mary Jane, issue number 6.
And we have a comment from Brant. The dinner conversation in Red Mother was fun. And when she sees, I want to talk about that. Sees the red burger and pukes, then the puzzle box, and the lady at the bus stop. Just so good. Yeah, I love that moment where she's having dinner and she just like so casually goes to the bathroom. She's like, I'll just be a second. I need to powder my nose. Throws up in the toilet. And she's like, goes back to dinner, like ends the deal. I thought that was so freaking good. I loved it. So Mike's out here. So
let's go back to top books. We already talked about Batman 91, but we got Valkyrie Jane Foster issue number 9. I missed it completely again. Digital fell through the cracks. I didn't realize I missed it, but I had time to read it. We're on Valkyrie, Mike.
Okay.
We just started it.
We actually like more Red Mother comments, so let's just read those for a second. Okay. Comic Universal, Red Mother is too scary for me. Yeah, I'm a wimp. I'm still too scared to watch any horror movies in most Black Label. I will say, yeah, if you don't like horror movies, you probably shouldn't read it. Although Brant hates horror and he likes this book. So you really feel connected to Daisy as she experiences all these creepy things. It's like we're seeing it right through her eyes, which makes it even creepier. Totally agree. I love the perspective of that book. It's very much in her point of view. Going back to Valkyrie.
I was going to say, how you get over horror movies? You watch a bunch of them. It'll numb you to the whole
exposure
thing.
Therapy, for sure.
Yep, exposure therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I should take my own advice, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, Valkyrie. I didn't think this issue was as good. It's very exposition-y, but I like the emotion.
I like this issue.
I guess because I'm not like a huge Thor fan, so it's very exposition-y with his family and with his brothers and all that. But I like Jane. Like I liked her when she feels the death and like how she's experienced that. And I love her and I love her voice. But I didn't think there was like enough Jane in this issue. surprisingly enough. But not my favorite of the run, but still a solid issue. This book is still really, really good. And I always love when Rosanos is doing artwork. He's one of my faves. So glad he was on here as a guest artist.
I didn't like this issue.
So you're in the same vein as me. I was saying I didn't like this issue as much either, Mike.
Yeah, I just, it was too, same thing. It was like, it wasn't very exciting for me. It was like, almost felt like it was, being that Thor is in it, it felt too much like a Thor book instead of more of a Jane Foster book. And she had her moments in the issue, but it's
her book,
not
man.
as good as the past, right? So
why did you like it, Chris?
I thought it was good. It was a whole trick to get her weapon, and now she has to go to Asgard and get it back. We don't know I don't even know how to pronounce this dude's name. Trier?
I don't even know. Something with a T.
Tyre.
So
it's Tyre.
He releases this malevolent force that now if he ever loses Valkyrie's weapon, he'll never be able to control it. So it's kind of like a gift and a nightmare. I don't know. I'm interested in seeing what happens next and how he's kept Thor under control.
Valkyrie made Brandt's top 5, so this would have been a very interesting show if he made it, because he seems like we've been in very much disagreements with Brandt's taste today.
Well, it's not in my top 5, but I did like it.
I think he's doing it on purpose since he can't be on the show.
He's like,
He's like, I'm going to be bitter. I'm going to hate everything that they like, so that's it.
In reverse. So we did Valkyrie. I think we're up to number 3.
And Mike's gone. So everybody, number 3 time. Here we go. Number 3s. Number 3s. Let's talk about our number 3s. My number 3 was Star Wars issue number 4. Luke learning he doesn't need his lightsaber to be a Jedi. Yeah. Like we didn't know this before. But I love the issue. I love the artwork in it. Luke, using the Force, tries to find his lightsaber. Instead, he gets clarity. He sees another Jedi saying, reach out for him. I hope it's who I think it is. If it is, I'm going to be getting single issues for a while. My prediction, it could be Ahsoka. If it is,
she gonna appear in Mandalorian? You didn't mark that down. Think so. Let me see. Ahsoka, Star Wars. Yeah, she's gonna appear in Mandalorian. Rosario Dawson's gonna play her.
Oh shit, man! I've got to catch up on. I have to finish Mandalorian so I can watch it. But Ahsoka was in Rebels.
So it's gonna be season 2. Yeah.
Yeah, Ahsoka was in Rebels, so obviously she survived into Luke's time. So it would be really cool if it was Ahsoka. Look back up. It's not.
I think he's just. He's yeah. Also, Brandt, we might agree on something. So wait and see, Brandt.
Yeah.
So, and also, we both agreed on Red Mother. It was the same ranking. Sorry, Chris.
No, you're fine. So Luke decides, the hell with my lightsaber. I got to go save Leia because he figures out Leia is in trouble. And he also learns that he doesn't need a lightsaber to be a Jedi because apparently Yoda and a bunch of other people tell him that. Whatever, it works. He saves Leia. He frees a bunch of people. They become rebels. They all escape. He jumps into his X-Wing to chase after that vision of that other Jedi. I think I'm going to be getting single issues from this point on. I think I might actually go back and get I think this is only issue 4. I have issue 1 on my wall now, on autograph wall. So might as well get issue 2, 3, and 4 and just continue along. I actually have it in trade though, so I'm going to see when the first volume ends, and maybe I'll start picking it up from. I think it probably ends at issue 5, so I might. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully,
I missed one I'm sorry. I missed the last 2 episodes. Pardon me, Chad. I'm sorry.
I haven't watched any.
A million different things at once. I'm lucky I got to the second to last episode. It's a lot better than my other stuff. I'm not really Chad doesn't know me, so I'm not really a big TV person. So for me to get anywhere with series is a big achievement.
All right. I guess I'll get my number 3.
Oh, I was gonna go to Cap because I think I know what she's gonna say.
Well,
yeah, mine's Runaways. So it's not number 1 though. But yeah, Runaways was really good this week. I enjoyed it. There was Doc Justice at the end of that arc, and he pretty much told everybody that they don't matter, they're not important, and he's about to try to kill everybody. And then we find out like the assistant guy was actually his son, and it's a good overall trying to deal with the themes of Runaways. Adults suck, parents suck, but you don't have to be your parents. So curious to see where things are going to go after this, because the arc has been dealing with this story for a while. So love Runaways, good ending to the arc. In the next 5 months, I can't wait until we get that next issue.
Joke's gonna be running for a while. Mike, what's your number 3?
Teen Titans issue number 40.
How dare you? Oh, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Well, this is where actually the Teen Titans are going to hell, except Jackham, because he lost his thunder powers and everything. And they're going to hell, basically going to their near death because Dejin is in purgatory, if I could say that name right, whatever. And they have to go and rescue her there. So Robin knows.
I'm sorry, pause a minute. Comic Universal. I'm a gamer though, so being inside just means I have more time to play Call of Duty, Fortnite, and all the games I missed, like Doom. So, yeah, TV, meaning gaming. Go ahead.
So yeah, so with Robin, who studied the Book of the Damned and everything else, he knows about hell, and because he's also been in hell throughout the past, where Robin said that he was killed and went to hell before, actually. And the thing is that while they're being monitored, every 30 minutes they have to be injected with the antidote in order for them to not lose all their brain functions and everything. So as they're, going through hell, they have their scenarios of fear, and they get out of that fear, which I thought was actually pretty, serious, those fear scenarios that they went through. And they did meet with Jin, who told them that they should not have come, but because they're already dead. And that's an to be continued after seeing that part. And I'm going to say this as a pun intended. This was one hell of an issue.
Yeah, no, it was a fun issue. Pun definitely intended. It was a fun issue. I like seeing their own little hells was cool. It didn't make my top 5 this week, but enjoying Teen Titans.
Awesome.
I didn't get a chance to read it. It's one of the few issues I still didn't get a chance to read.
It's not a huge issue because, it is a cliffhanger we see very much in comics, so they're going to survive.
Right.
But it's still a fun issue.
Also, I just want to point out to that comment, you can love video games even if you're not good at it.
I was just going to say, you haven't watched any of my streams yet.
Well, I'm just saying as a gamer myself.
My KD is so bad. I don't even, when people say, what's your KD? I'm like, I don't have a KD.
So what are we on?
Number 3.
Talking about number 3.
What's your number 3?
Chris was Star Wars. Mine was Runaways. Michael was Teen Titans.
Okay, so my number 3 was
off.
His number 3 will never know.
Oh man! All right, I guess we'll go to big books. I don't know what technology is doing.
Actually, Brent talked about Teen Titans.
Oh yeah, we can read that comment.
Yeah.
Teen Titans was really good too, and we'll read the comment, and then Mike will come on. Each of them battling their inner demons and finding that respect for Robin, and possibly dying. Good stuff. So, what was your number 3, Mike?
Oh my God, I'm so frustrated. Mine was the actual Resistance from the AWA studio.
I kept those off my top because we were doing a topic, but I love that book. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good book. It definitely worth the mention real quick about the introductory to this new universe. And because of this pandemic that actually happens, at the end of the book, you get to see glimpses of possible heroes and villains that could arise. And I thought it was a well-written book, a lot of exposition, obviously, because of everything that was going on. And if you like the Dotto's artwork, he does it. Straczynski writes it. Definitely worth a mention and definitely worth a pickup. And so, like I said, or like we said, we're going to be doing a topic time on this company and briefly discussing the books and if they're worth the pickup or worth checking out this studio. So stay tuned for that topic video when it's released.
I will agree with you. It's just reading the Resistance, especially where we're at in the real world right now. It's creepy.
It was. I was reading that. I'm like, holy shit. I read the first page to my wife. And I'm like, this is exactly what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah, except the virus in the comic is a bit more deadly, a bit more contagious. And unfortunately, the only unfortunate thing is it stopped like at the flick of a switch. And our virus isn't stopping anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah, no, that was definitely it. There's a lot of exposition though. That's what kind of took me away from it. It gave me enough because of the cliffhanger though, because I want to know who those characters are for sure.
They're the ones that are going to be your heroes and your villains.
Yeah.
Those are that's what it's going to be, because they're the 5%. They're the 5% that survived and developed abilities from this virus instead of it killing them. And so the reason why that virus was obviously stopped was because of one of those people, which was the sister that happened in it. I thought it was great, man. I liked it. We'll discuss it in a topic, but I think this company could do something, and I'm kind of excited for it.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. I agree with you 100%.
All right, so that was my number 3. Kat, what's your number 3?
Mine was Runaway.
Very good.
Oh, that's right. I was the only one who didn't go. That's right. So then we're going to go on to the next book. So we talked about Star Wars, right? Because that was Chris's. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And so next is Justice League issue 43. Dude, Justice League is good, man. I am so sad that Venditti is leaving to do. I think he's doing the Spectre, isn't he? That's what they said
what he's doing?
Yeah, I think that's his dream job. That was his dream book to do. And
okay, DC, that makes sense.
Yeah, DC is giving it to him, but I'm sad that he's leaving this because I think he could have given this title something special, And man, oh man, when it came to the end of this book of them defeating Eradicator, and you're like Superman sacrificing himself to Eradicator, and freaking Wonder Woman stabs him in the back and freaking rips off his head. Holy shit. I was like, I did not expect that to happen. I'm like, Eradicator's dead for right now, at least anyway. But it was cool. I really did it. What'd you say, Chris?
I was saying that version of him, which I'm glad. I did not like that version of him at all.
Right. I'm trying to think of what else happened. Just like all the character moments, like even Jon Stewart in this book is really good too. So and the artwork's good. I love it. I love the book right now, and it's only going for so long. So we'll see what happens with the next story arc.
100% agree.
All right, so now we're gonna move on to number 2. Then I'll start number 2 with Kat.
Mine was Spider-Woman. Already discussed
that. Mine too.
And mine was 2.
There we go.
And all right, Michael, we know Spider-Woman's not your number 2, so what do you got?
Family Tree, issue 5. We've already talked about it.
Good one to talk about. All right. So next, we got a few issues to talk about here. Nightwing issue 70. Waste of time. That's
I like the issue. I like the issue. It's not worth the money that people are asking for it. Everybody thought Punchline was going to be in the book. Everybody thought this
big. How much it's running for now?
Huh?
I'm curious how much money it's running for now. That
probably still the same because nobody really knows yet.
50 cents.
Are you serious? If it says 50 cents, tell me what.
There's one. It's on eBay. Nightwing issue 70, 2020. Variant cover. 50 cents. Yeah, it's auction.
Is it
Yeah, it's an auction.
That goes
and
up.
then the other ones are like $10.
Yeah,
So
The
nothing.
highest I'm seeing is like 20.
We found it for $10. It went down. The lowest I found it for was 17.
Yeah, it's not worth more than the cover price, and I didn't even like the issue. It's the first issue I've read of Nightwing in a long time, and I thought maybe there was some decent Joker moments in there, but it was nothing.
One page.
Nothing special. He's
one page.
Yeah, I mean, he's chasing down the fake Nightwings, and he's like, "Oh, you're not the real Nightwing," and and you get to see Dick. He's sitting there suffering. He's like, "Oh, I don't know which thoughts are real and which ones are not, and I have this big headache, and I was going to be a Talon." And he was like, "Oh, yeah, Talon almost because of this stupid crystal and this woman." I didn't like the new outfit. There was nothing there that made me go, "Oh my God, I can't wait to read Nightwing again." The only reason why I might read this because yes, it ties into the Joker War,
I'm more excited, like you just said. I'm more excited for when Punchline shows up in 2 issues. I don't even think she's supposed to be in the next issue.
2 issues, 7 months from now, so we'll see.
Yeah, about 7 months. Yeah, when we actually start remembering all the stuff we're reading now.
This book that could have a huge effect on the whole Punchline situation with Batman because major story arc about to happen, and Punchline coming out. It's not going to happen for a little while.
And that Artgerm comic is coming out this week. When no one's go to this, the Artgerm variant comes out this week.
Yep, and no one's going to get it.
Get that. No.
And it's going to cool down, and people are just,
And that's another thing why physical medium will never die. Also, you can't get the variant covers when it comes to digital. It loses its.
You can look at them.
You can look at them, but it loses its charm.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's talk about X-Force issue 9. X-Force. So I guess basically they're doing battle against this big ass plant. I mean, that's basically what happens.
Makes sense.
Or it's a god or plant god or whatever it is. But what I liked about this issue was the beginning of it when you have what's her face, Gabby, right? And you have Dawkins and you have Wolverine, and they're playing spin the bottle, and wherever it lands, they have to put the fucking claws right through their head.
Oh my God.
It was
hysterical.
Hilarious. And it was Dawkins who gets it, and he's just like, all right. And then he does it. And then Jean's like, really, guys? He's like, can't you guys just have some fun? And they're like, we are having fun.
It's just bonding.
Yeah, it was funny. And you get to see them all partying in the beginning, and then Domino's better. And
now here's a question with Domino though. She asked Colossus not to let them take her pain away, not to let them take anything away from her, but she's back in her past. She doesn't feel the pain from her past anymore.
That's true. So that's some kind of fault, or in the resurrection process, or they went against her will.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens with that.
Brant wants to maybe disagree with everyone. I don't know your opinions fully on X-Force yet, but I didn't really care for this issue of X-Force.
Yeah, see, I didn't like the whole plant god thing.
That was where it lost me. I
just liked the beginning part. That was it. That felt like more of an X book than the whole plant thing. I was like, I don't care about a fucking plant. What's with this and all this plants? Like, we're learning about pollen. We're learning about flowers.
We got a
allergy season.
Wolverine was another part. I liked, where he was talking with Domino. That was like where after that part is where it started losing me with the plant god, where he was talking to Domino about why don't you feel, your pain is what drove you, and she's like, I feel so much, I feel fixed, and he's like, you were never broken. You didn't need to be fixed. I feel like Wolverine is starting to be like, okay, this Krakoa thing isn't so cool anymore.
Yeah, once they went through the gate, that's when the issue went south.
Exactly.
Like right after the part where it was just like Wolverine mentioned, he's like, don't lose your head there, Quentin Quire. And he's like, I already did. That's because he got his head chopped off when he went through gate in the earlier issues. Quentin Quire did. So it was all right, certain parts of it, but it wasn't the best issue. Next
Brent really disliked it. He ranked it 23 out of 30.
Oh wow, I wouldn't.
He didn't like the spin the bottle thing.
Oh, Brant, it was fun.
Come on, Brant, spin the bottle, man. Everyone did that. Come on. Maybe not putting claws through their head. I was happy to see Gabby.
I hope he didn't do that.
You know, no, I didn't. Was never dared to do that one. All right. Wicked Things, issue 1 from Boom. I didn't read this.
I did not like the artwork in it. I saw it and I was like, nope.
It was not my thing. I thought the premise was interesting. It was about this girl who like becomes like this teen detective or wins an award for it, and then she's framed for murder. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but it wasn't really my vibe. I didn't really care for the main character like at all throughout it, so definitely not getting the next issue. But if you like slice of life detective stories, you might like it. But Brant seemed he didn't like it either. So, and he really likes detective stories. So
now, if this is his number 1 pick, we know he's going against you guys.
Exactly, especially because he put it on his shopping block, and he's like, you know what?
He's going to change it. You're going to see that we're on the drive right now. He's going to look at it, and you're going to see it
just disappear.
Yeah,
so we gone. It'll be off the chopping block completely.
All right, so then let's go on to our number 1 picks. Mine was one we talked about, which was DC's Unkillable. So that was mine. Michael, what was your number 1 pick?
Book we already talked about, Robin 80th anniversary on your
Mine
page.
too.
Spectacular number 1.
Mine
too. And Cat was Runaways.
No, that was number 3. Mine was Family Tree.
Oh, I didn't remember you saying that. That's right.
Mine was Family Tree issue 5.
Family Tree was awesome.
That was a 5-star book, actually. Really,
I had a lot of good books, man. I really did. And these past 2 weeks, that's why I was so pissed off that I couldn't come back on last week, because I had so many great books that I wanted to talk about. And this week is another week. I mean, I feel like comics, the way they're written right now, are much improved.
Mm-hmm.
For the few DC comics that are out, I really enjoy the ones I do read, so and then Marvel, I feel like is making great stuff too. So I think they're much improved. I think people, like, when it comes to like when they're talking about New Warriors and stuff, I think we're a little bit sometimes too nitpicky about certain things,
We got so many good books. Yeah, this week I had
Grant is 4 issues ahead of us. He read Spider-Woman issue number 5.
Yeah, man, that's great.
Great 5-star book too. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, that book's not coming out for like a whole year yet.
But yeah, I think the books are really good. I had 2 4.5s this week, and that one 5-star was really. I haven't had a 5-star in a long time, so I was really happy to have a book that I thought was perfect.
So then, Kat, that leaves one question: if everything was 4 and 5 stars, what are you chopping?
Wicked Things. That wasn't.
There you go.
4 or 5 stars. Anybody
else chopping a book this week?
I didn't even put anything down for chopping. I don't know if
We're
had
chopping
it.
all our books because no one's picking up.
We're not chopping it. The companies are chopping them for now.
Yeah,
back.
That's true. There was nothing I think I wanted to chop that I read. Trying to think here. I'm looking through everything. Maybe Captain Marvel is a possibility. I did not like the conclusion to that story.
I stopped reading Captain Marvel. It just disappeared off my list.
Right.
I was very disappointed with this arc. I want to see the next one, though. The next one's also mediocre. I probably will drop Captain Marvel.
Right. Yeah, me too.
I was underwhelmed with the supervillain arc that it was like, oh.
Well, because they revealed it after issue 2. I loved the first issue. And then after that, I was done.
All right. So you guys want to move on to the key issues then? We'll run through them quickly.
Yeah, definitely do it quickly.
Yeah, we're so far over. So let's talk about Crowded, who, Kat, I'm sure you're interested in Crowded, and I think Brant was too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I love the book. And it's one of my favorite indies. And if you haven't been reading it, definitely go check it out. And
then I'm assuming Chris, TMNT issue 104.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be the last Turtle issue of 2020. Hooray. Turtles are going through a really strong post City at War. Usually,
Jenica book, they have a lot of books out too, right?
Sorry?
They have a lot of books out too because they have the Jenica book. They have
Jenica Mini. They have the TMNT crossover with the Rangers, and there's also another book. There's another mini series that's going to be coming out soon. So they're doing great for post City at War because usually that's how they end the Turtle series. That's their last arc. So it's really great to see that there's a follow up, and there's so much going on with the Turtles, from Donatello to to Mikey, and you got stuff going on with Jenica. It's great. I'm looking forward to 104 and hopefully not too long for 105.
All right. Transformers vs. Terminator issue 1. We got that. That could
That's gonna be sick.
Interesting. I don't think a Terminator can beat a Transformer, but
you don't think it, but I'll make you bet they will.
I want to see that happen. I won't read the book, but I just want to see a Terminator.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of weird.
It's going to be great. The first issue is coming out now. The second issue, 2021.
The third issue, 2022.
Comics come out yearly now instead of monthly. All right, now we got Batman, Curse of the White Knight, the conclusion of that series.
Wait.
I'm glad I'm going to get that.
That's going to be awesome. The Flash, issue 752.
I've been interested in the arc since reading 750, so I'm really interested in seeing what's going to happen with Flash.
Suicide Squad, issue 4. I know I'm looking forward to that. That's going to start off a new story arc where Harley Quinn is actually going to do some investigating on these new Suicide Squad members. She feels that something's fishy about them, so she's going to find out. But could it cost
take her a whole year?
Yeah.
It is. Long journey.
Next, we have the Amazing Spider-Man issue 42 as we talk about that Tablet of Time storyline. And it was funny, you guys talked about it on the episode last week when I listened to it on the playback. And Tablet of Time is an old thing. And then it also was talked about in Spider-Man, the animated series from the 90s. And I just recently saw that episode. I'm like, holy shit, they have this in this comic book right now. So I thought it was wild. So I'm looking forward to that. I know you guys didn't like it as much. Brant says, since I'm the only one that marked it once in future issue 7, I was shocked it was back already. Not really. It's not going to be, only to now go away again.
Yeah.
And now we got giant-sized X-Men Nightcrawler. That's the book that I would be kind of on the fence about. I still don't know.
Aren't all the giant-sized X-Men connected? Like, that's the story that's going on.
That's why I want to pick it up, because if it's, the Storm story, I want to see where it goes. And also, Nightcrawler had a really interesting thing about him creating a mutant religion. So I'm like, you know what? I think I gotta pick this up.
Maybe. Yep. New number 1, Hellions. So that
I'm not
comes
getting
out.
it.
You're not? No.
No, I hate everyone. Not hate, but I don't like anyone on the team. So I'm like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah. I'm trying out issue 1. And you know what? If it's not good, then I'm not gonna buy issue 2 that comes out in 6 months.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah. They'll totally forget about it. Next, Immortal Hulk, big one. Issue 33 / the 750th issue of this series. So there's your pick of variant covers.
And the regular cover, I think. I might be getting the Spider-Woman cover.
I don't even know what I'm getting. I know it's there. So I think it's cool.
If you can go to the store, I'm getting my books mailed, so I don't even know what I'm gonna get tomorrow or Thursday. So I don't know.
Yeah, it
will be very much a mystery, but I'm excited. I hope there's a big movement because this book's been kind of slow.
Yeah,
not bad by any means, but it's a little bit.
I need to get past this story arc. I'm not a huge fan of this story arc.
Mm-hmm.
You will in 2021.
Road to Empire. We got the Kree / Skrull War issue 1. You guys excited for that one?
No.
It's dealing with that Meet the Skrull book though, which I didn't love, but at least it's characters that we know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in that regard, and also love Mattio's artwork, who did Jessica Jones and Invisible Woman. So really just artwork.
Yeah, his artwork is top notch. Next, we got Wolverine issue 2. I think Kat, you said you're not going to get it, right?
Nope.
Yep. Chris, you get one?
Yo, yeah.
X-Men Fantastic Four issue 3.
And
So
then
about that, guys.
In a year.
Kitty's still alive in it, so that's always good.
Still only current Kitty book that she's reading. Michael's excited about this one, Killing Red Sonja issue 1.
Yep. I'm gonna be reading that.
So we'll see what happens if she actually dies. Once in a Future issue 7. Bran already talked about it. He's excited for it, but he's crying because it's going away and it won't be back to the year 2025. So we'll see what happens. And then Valiant's new number 1. We got XO Man of War issue 1, which I'm totally looking forward to that book. I still haven't read it digitally. Michael is excited for it.
I read it a couple months ago now, so I remember like the theme of it, but I don't remember all the beats. So it should be interesting when we do discuss it.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all we got. So Chris, I'll hand it off to you so we can close out.
There was also another one.
Was there another book? I mean, if there's another book you want to discuss, go for it.
No, not discuss. Just there was Red Sonja Vampirella and Betty and Veronica issue number 10. That also comes out, but I don't know if you guys read it.
Nope.
This wasn't on there.
Oh, I saw
it. Just wasn't on the drive. That's why I didn't.
I think because you had usually when we do our events, we usually have like 1x. If there's one person does it after that.
All right. All right. Well, then never mind.
So we're at the end of the show now. Does anybody have anything they'd like to talk about that's going on with them? I think every one of us might.
Oh, I was gonna say I think we should start wrapping the show, but
yeah.
Good.
Okay, then you know what? Follow us across all social. Hold on. Friends, do this. Is it? Nope.
Quick, but all right.
Subscribe to Comic Frontline, Comic Corner 2.0 for all new things. Hit the notification bell so you know what. Wrong way. Stop it.
No, I know.
Notification.
No,
The
other way.
No, I'm gonna keep going this way and see if it changes.
Fine, go the wrong way. Notification bell so you know stuff. Thumbs up the video. Tell YouTube you love it by giving it a thumbs up. And then this Comic Frontline social media is where Mike is. And then if you'd like to know where you can find us, all of our social medias are here. I have Dark Avenger Gaming on Twitch as well as ShootingStarUniverse.com. We hope you all have a wonderful new comic book day. Enjoy it. It could be the last one for, Enjoy.
The giveaway.
Week.
Oh, shit. Shit.
Yeah, just text us.
Yeah, see, Kat, I forgot about the giveaway.
Hold on. All right, guys, if you're still here, which probably not,
Here, stop. Giveaway.
Here is the list of names, and I'm going to screen share. Hold on. And we are out here. Out. We've been on for too long. All right, hold on. Here we go.
Here she goes.
Randomize.
There it is.
Tom, and then Dead M15 if Tom does not message us in 24 hours. So Dead M in 2 days anyways.
Wait, and third place is Orlando Perez. Just in case, let's go for 3. So Orlando Perez. So all three,
guys.
All 3 of you message us, and whoever messages us first, we will do the giveaway. You'll win the prize. So congratulations to whoever messages us. Hopefully first place messages us, but if not, there's 3 of you.
Our email in the description.
Yep, I just did.
And you can email us at comicfrontline@gmail.com. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you all next week for another episode of Comic Book Weekly.
Good day, everybody.
Night, everyone. Thank you.